it's Monday morning. How are you doing, man?
I don't know.
How are you feeling after the weekend, brother?
You can probably tell by my voice and how much I celebrated this weekend that, yes, I'm in a very good space. Feeling a little tender, I won't lie.
Yeah?
But absolutely beautiful. Surrounded by the most amazing people this weekend was obviously my bachelor.
Yeah, the man's had his big bachelors this weekend, and I'm proud that he made it back here in one piece to serve you, Mzansi. So
Am I, though? It might be a few little pieces. I won't lie. It might be a few. You're just going to have to keep coming back together.
I got you. We all got you.
We are there, boy. We are there.
But it's a morning of magic, of course. And on that note, wedding bells are ringing on your Feel Good Breakfast show this morning. And cue the music, baby. As one of our OGs, yes, that's the G-Man over here, is getting married. And we cannot wait for the auspicious occasion. So we decided to get G clued up on all things wedding bells. Yeah,
because there is so much more to consider than you think.
Yeah.
And you want it to be magical, but you've got to tick all the boxes. And it's an opportunity to celebrate it. But I need a bit of a 101 here, a boot camp in what I need to be.
We got you, man. So from getting into shape for your wedding to being entertained by wedding performers and electric string duo Alani and Dorette are in the building to show us a little bit more about that. Then we're going to find out the hottest wedding trends for 2022. I
love it.
That's something you want to get your box ticked. And we're getting an artist, Martinez Fanti, who creates humorous illustrations of wedding guests. And finally, that's not it, G. We got more for you. A wedding party. What is a wedding party without a cake? Yeah, man. You know what I mean?
It's going to look a bit weird me flying overseas in this country, but I'll take it. I'm here for that. It's all about the love, and I'm feeling very loved up at the moment. I think the most important thing about this entire wedding experience is giving me a chance to spend more time with the people that I love, and of course, looking forward to making this beautiful girl my wife.
Oh.
Can you believe?
Can't wait.
Well, I think she was involved in some of the nuptial celebrations last night, so she could be forgiven for being just a little bit tired this morning. Oh, good morning, Zoe. We love you, girl. How was your weekend?
Morning, G-Man. You know what? Lindsay's bridal shower last night was absolutely spectacular, and all I'm going to say is you are in for a treat. She's going to be the most beautiful bride on the planet. But we are talking all things wedding, and that means love is in the air, and we need to get Graham as prepared as possible. So for today, our good morning post to you is saying, good morning. A wedding can be a very stressful event. Share some of your wedding experiences where a faux pas turned into a fabulous affair. We are looking forward to hearing about all of those faux pas that turned into fabulous affairs. So head on over to our social media, share your stories, and we will share those on your Feel Good Breakfast show throughout the day. But it's time for us to get into those official duties of the morning. Here's Floral with your morning headlines.
Thank you so much. So now it's time, of course, to take a look at our headlines this morning, and starting on national fronts. Now, South Africans are urged to make their submissions to the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa's proposed new regulations that will extend the expiry period for data, voice and SMS services to 6 months. Now, the public has until the 18th of May to make their submissions. Unlike airtime data, bundles currently come with a 30-day expiry date, and if they are not used within the specific time, they lapse, then that is the end of that. Now, if successful, the proposed regulations will see mobile operators extending the expiry period for data to 6 months. Now, next on our national forecast, or reading for this morning, the former Daily Dispatch office building in East London has been completely gutted after a fire broke out yesterday morning. Now, Daily Dispatch editor Sherry Ann James said they were notified of a fire at their former offices on Caxton Road at around 9:30 a.m. Now, James also added and quoted, "As a staffer, it was painful watching an office that holds memories over 100 years old burning into nothing but a shell," unquote. Now, the publications moved from the building in 2015. Well, from our national news headlines, we head over to international news, and we pop over to Nigeria, where the Nigeria's airlines are to stop domestic operations from today in a protest at the spiraling cost of jet fuel. Now, it has risen almost fourfold this year, which was unsustainable, and the airline operators of Nigeria said, and quoted, "No airline in the world can absorb this kind of sudden shock from such an astronomical rise over a short period," unquote. Now, this in a statement which was said, and with the following, the hikes have been triggered principally by Russia's invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February. Now, despite being Africa's largest oil producer, Nigeria still imports almost all of its jet fuel. Now, heading from Africa over to Asian coastlines, and South Korea and Japan say North Korea has fired a submarine-launched ballistic missile into the sea off the east coast of the peninsula. Now, if confirmed, it would be the latest in a series of missile tests by Pyongyang, and it comes just days before the inauguration of South Korea's new president, Yoon Suk-yeol, who has vowed to take a firmer line with the North. Now, Japan's Minister of Defense called the launch an unacceptable threat to the international community, and Nobuo Kishi said Japan would continue to strengthen their defense capabilities drastically. Now, next on our headlines, one of KwaZulu-Natal's most important events every year is likely to get bigger than ever this year. Yes, the countdown to the much-anticipated ocean spectacle along the KwaZulu-Natal south coast, known as the Great Sardine Run, has begun. Now, this as billions of fish make their way from the Cape Agulhas Bank, past the province coast, up north to Mozambique, and finally the Indian Ocean annually. Now, experts say a huge shoal has already been spotted in the Plettenberg Bay area, and the tourism sector believes this phenomenon will attract thousands of visitors to KZN, bringing much-needed relief to an industry hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, the July unrest, and most recently the devastating floods. Now, Dr. Ryan Daly of the Oceanographic Research Institute in Durban says although the recent floods in KZN caused a surge in water, as well as debris in the Indian Ocean, the impact on the ocean has largely passed, and therefore it shouldn't influence the arrival of these sardines. So, make your plans. Hotels along the coast are expecting an influx of visitors this year, and it definitely is a sight that you can enjoy. Well, that's the latest on the headlines that I have for you this morning, but we are continuing with the rest of the magic, and next up, we've got G-Man standing by with the sports.
Well, I suppose it was the result that nobody really wanted, and it means that City have now moved a step closer to retaining the Premier League title. An incredible performance this weekend with their 5-0 demolition of Newcastle. Well, Arsenal, they beat relegation-threatened Leeds 2-1 to boost their bid for a top-4 finish on Sunday. It was Pep Guardiola's side who took control before half-time at the Etihad, thanks to goals from Raheem Sterling and Emerick Laporte. Then Rodri got City's third after the break before Phil Foden, and then Sterling struck in stoppage time as they stormed back to the top of the table in an emphatic fashion. And then the defending champions, well, they took full advantage of Liverpool's 1-1 draw against Spurs the day before. Chelsea, they were held to a 2-2 draw by Wolves, while Man United, they were left with egg on the face, suffering a horror 4-0 loss against Brighton at possibly the worst time of the season. Then we bring it back home. Well, we might have decided the title, but still plenty of action happening in that chase for the second spot. The weekend's Premiership action kicked off at the Lucas Moripa Stadium, and SuperSport United and Swallows FC, they played out to a 2-2 draw on Friday night. And on Saturday, Marumo Gallants, they hosted Golden Arrows, with the game ending in a 0-0 stalemate. Well, the game between Amazulu and Sekhukhune United ended with the same scoreline. Then Cape Town City, they saw themselves jump into second spot on the log. That was after their 2-0 win over TS Galaxy. But a city-based club are also extending their unbeaten streak to 12 games now in all competitions. And in the final tie of the weekend, our champions Mamelodi Sundowns, they travelled to Kaizer Chiefs on Sunday evening. Aubrey Modiba, he got his name on the score sheet yet again for the Sundowns. Then the Glamour boys also were able to get one back to ensure that they could not decide the fate of either side. Then onto the track we went for the first time in Miami as we turned to Formula One. Max Verstappen resisted a late Charles Leclerc onslaught to win the inaugural Miami Grand Prix and cut his rivals' championship lead to now 19 points. Verstappen was in supreme form and pretty comfortable after overtaking both Ferraris early on in the race before a late safety car caused by a dramatic Lando Norris crash that led to a thrilling finale as the field bunched up. Leclerc, who was the pole sitter, lost his lead on lap 7, suddenly found pace again in the closing stages as Formula One's 2022 title protagonists battled again. This is going to be the most intense season, but could not get ahead of Verstappen despite getting close with DRS. And Carlos Sainz, he came home in third, with Sergio Perez finishing in fourth. And I have a feeling this is what it's going to look like for pretty much the rest of that Formula One season. Then we turn to tennis finally, and Spaniard Spaniard, Carlos Alcaraz. He has raced to the Madrid Open title yesterday, brushing aside German Alexander Zverev 6-3, 6-1 in just 62 minutes. So the victory in just over an hour took the 19-year-old's winning streak to 10 matches and gave him a second consecutive title. That was after victory last month in Barcelona. Alcaraz beat Rafa Nadal and world number one Novak Djokovic on his way to the Madrid final, and we'll now see him climb to number 6 in the world when the latest rankings are released later today. Alcaraz, who turned just 19, in fact, this last week, captured a second ATP Masters 1000 level title after winning in Miami back in March. And in fact, the only younger player to reach that milestone was Nadal himself, who of course won in Monte Carlo and Rome when he was only 18 years old. Well, it looked like, as I said, City were the only real winners in the Premiership. We're going to delve a bit into all the permutations and where we sit in the life cycle of football in just a moment. But right now, let's see where you sit in your life cycle with what the weather is like ahead of today.
Thanks, G-Man. Well, let's jump into some news. The City of Cape Town is embarking on flood prevention initiatives, which include unblocking stormwater drainage systems in preparation for the up-and-coming wet weather season. Some 48 million rand has been set aside for this. The city said it was working hard to ensure that the impact of rainy weather on residents and their areas is reduced this winter. The city said it has developed a program of area cleaning aimed specifically at flood prevention during the up-and-coming wet weather. Now, on average, June is Cape Town's wettest month as part of the city's plans. Expanded public works program recruitment opportunities have been created to assist permanent staff to conduct this work. Short-term job opportunities are now available, and the Urban Waste Management Directorate is encouraging unemployed residents to register their names on the sub-council's database so they can be eligible to benefit while helping the city get through winter. Now, from some weather news, we move on to those sunrise views, and this was captured by you. Starting off with Gavin Pollock from Durban, that captured this vermilion sky, which displays a brilliant red pigment made from mercury sulfide and is absolutely breathtaking. Then Ronel Marais from Kempton Park shared this stunning morning view with Jupiter and Venus perfectly aligned and shining brightly in the sky. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, let's look at those temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 10 for today, a high of 23. Mbombela, 15-23. Pretoria, 9-22. Johannesburg, partly cloudy with a high of 20. Mahikeng, sunny, 6 is your low, 22 your high. Cloudsthorpe, 5, 21. Kimberley, 5, reaching a high of 20. Bloemfontein, 2 with a high of 20. Richards Bay, 14, 24. Pietermaritzburg, 9, reaching a high of 21. If you're in Durban, a sunny day ahead, 15 is your low, 23 your high. Mthatha, 8, 21. East London, 12, reaching a high of 22. Cradock, 5 with a high of 19 for today. If you're in Gqeberha, 12 your low, 23 your high. George, 9, 21. Cape Town, 10 with a high of 19 for today. If you're in Worcester, a low of 9, a high of 25. Sutherland, 5, reaching a high of 19. And if you're in Uppington, a low of 7 and a high of 25 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now. If you have a beautiful sunrise photo that you would love to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
I'm sorry. I wish one of us could have gotten something out of it.
I don't want to talk about it, you just
well, we
like,
have to.
It's
kind
like
of our job.
An empty abyss right now.
I know the feeling, but just soften your hands just a little bit.
I need that, man.
Okay, just for you.
I need some comfort.
No, we've got to do it. Look, I take nothing away from City fans who capitalised this weekend. If they wanted to show their title-winning credentials, thumping a possible hoodoo side in the form of Newcastle 5-0 is how you're going to do it. We'll get into that in just a moment. 3
points clear, but of course, we're Mike going to be chatting about that. I've also got another tip for G. Obviously, wedding bells are ringing hard on the show this morning. So we're going to figure out how he can get his workout on amongst all the chaos and everything else that he's organising. So we got you, man.
Okay.
We'll see you right after this.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're still live with Expresso after a very busy weekend. In fact, a stellar weekend in the Premier League. So much action to catch up on, and I think a lot on the line for all teams, both ends of the table. Headline clash, Liverpool and Spurs couldn't be separated. Arsenal, they took on Leeds, and of course, Man City were at home to Newcastle with the possibility of a shock result. Not a chance. With us to preview, or review rather, all of the action is our sports producer and anchor, Michael Pedro. Oh, buddy. You kind of called it. You said, watch this end in a 1-1 draw or something like that. That's what happened. Liverpool suffering a potential hammer blow to their title chances. Before we delve into that and chew on the sporting gristle, let's take a look at some of the highlights of that, how that one went down. Yeah, for about 5 minutes, we were both able to believe again, and then it all came crashing down. Buddy, just how damning is this result, obviously, for the title aspirations of Liverpool, and then obviously with Spurs chasing hard for that 4th spot? What does this result mean? City have it in the bag, yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think that was probably the feeling after the game on Saturday between Liverpool and Spurs, and then that was compounded by Man City thrashing Newcastle 5-0 yesterday. So I think unfortunately, it's probably Premier League season posed the threat themselves as well on the counter-attack, which has become sort of their stock and trade under Antonio Conte.
Chelsea are also in the mix there, 1 point clear of Arsenal in 3rd after drawing 2-2 to Wolves. How do you see this battle, this race for top 4? Who's feeling like they're in the pound seat as we go into definitely the business end now?
Yeah, I think probably Arsenal have the most momentum at this point.
Yeah.
Chelsea have stuttered in the last couple of games. Obviously, Chelsea not in the best of form at the moment, and Arsenal look to be out of those 3 teams between Chelsea, Spurs and Arsenal. The
fans and friends out there, you know, this team has given us glimmers of hope. We've kind of tried to reclassify them as a team that's going through a rebuilding phase at the moment. An absolute collapse for Manchester United, 4-0 against Brighton. Where does that leave them in their season? Do they just write it off, get a new coach, buy some new players? How do they do this? Where are they?
Yeah, I think that's probably been the attitude since about January, really, is to just, it does raise a lot of questions, but hopefully from a United point of view anyway, Erik ten Hag can come in and
he'll make all of the difference. Well, buddy, I'm glad we got to share the spoils, but I will have an inside joke chuckle because I watched that game at about 8 hours into my bachelor's. I have no memory of it at all, so it was nice to see some of those highlights again. But to all of the fans out there, I hope you're enjoying this crazy nail-biting race for 4th especially. But right now, it's time to get shredding for the wedding.
Yeah, gee, you know we got you. Of course, it's wedding bells ringing all day on the show this morning, and we've got something specially prepared for you and amping up your fitness routine before your big day. And it's just not about looking good and looking your best, but also feeling your best for that big walk down the aisle. But with all the planning and organizing that goes into putting the big day together, who honestly has the time to still go to the gym on top of all of that? Well, the good news is you don't have to go to the gym because you can work out in the comfort of your own home with some of these workouts, which personal trainer Natalie Daniels is about to take us through. And I can't wait for this. So, G, I hope you're watching right now. Natalie, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Good morning.
It's nice to see you again. Yeah. Last time we were doing interesting things on the Swiss ball or the workout ball, which I absolutely loved. And I see you got some
new gadgets.
We're going to call these wedding bands to make G dance.
There we go.
Hey, wedding bands to make G dance. Right, I like this.
That,
so what exercises have you got for us, seeing that we don't need to go to the gym and this is all we need?
There we go. And like I said, obviously, I got my tiara on here because it's next month it's 10 years. So I remember, you know, having these little things in your bag. So what I'm going to be telling those, especially those brides, I know sometimes we get bridezillas. So don't take your stress out on your maid of honor and all the people around you. Get the bag
it out of the workout.
And work it out.
All right, I love that.
These little gadgets, which I'm sure we all have at home, or if you don't, get one. They can go, they're very comfortable, they get in your bag. So we're going to go, the first one is, I'm sure you've seen these ones. So with the bride, you know, you want to work the arms, you know, this lovely dress, you want to work the core, and then obviously they're into the glutes, but this is for everyone. So first one's first. We're gonna put the arms there, and all you're gonna do, you're just gonna get us a good resistance. There we go.
Okay.
And pull it out.
Should I be feeling this in the shoulders?
Yes,
Right.
you know, beautiful. And you know, I know the hubby needs to look good in that suit. That shirt needs to fit.
Yeah, we want G's shoulders to
There
pull that
we
old suit.
go.
Now the man's getting
and the
accustomed,
arms.
so he's going to look good in it.
And you're gonna give me 3 more, even for the bride. That shoulder, it's working her pecs, it's working shoulder blades, everything. Give me 4 more, and 3, and 2. Are we feeling it?
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling it.
And relax.
Normally when I
Feel
go
that.
quiet, then I'm feeling the burn quite a bit in the shoulders and the arms.
And
But I was
there.
just thinking about a bride in a dress as well. Often those are the areas exposed in the
Yes,
dress.
that's why
So
we
you definitely want to get this looking good to match the rest of the elegance.
There we go. And it's all about being toned,
Yes.
or at least looking toned and all sculptured.
And
The
feeling
next-
good too.
There
Don't
we
forget
go.
that.
There
All
we
right,
go.
what
The
else you
next
got?
one, we're gonna work on the back.
Okay.
So all we're gonna do, you're gonna lift the arms up and you're gonna pull it.
Oh, wow, okay.
And
nice.
pick it up. Good. And pull it back. Where are you feeling it?
Oh, I must say, it feels like underneath the shoulder blades. I mean, sorry, not the shoulder blades, underneath the armpits. So that's like the lats, right?
We're working those arms, okay?
Yeah.
And I want you now, while you're doing it, I want you to pull in that abdominal muscle. So pull in the 4 more and 3. And you're gonna give me 2 more. Lovely. And 1. Now you're gonna hold it there. Hold it there. Oh, shoulder fingers.
Smooth fingers.
There we go. 3, 2, and relax. Oh,
That's a proper burn, eh?
okay,
This
right
little
in the
thing
arms.
packs a punch.
Right in the
Yeah.
arms. Okay, so I'm gonna get you on another gadget.
Another one.
Okay, another one. And you know, obviously, some girls want to work the legs, work the glutes,
Yeah.
guys as well. So we're gonna work the legs a bit.
Remember, gents wear like skinny jeans and slim fit
Yeah,
pants.
so you know the-
this one need to do the work now, yeah?
Exactly. So now this one's gonna work legs, it's gonna work core, and it's gonna work arms.
Beautiful. Good
Lovely.
bang for our
so
buck,
we're gonna
yeah.
just go show us diagonal, and you're gonna lift it up and down. There we go. Bring it up and up. And down, in the beat, and up, breathe, and down. Give me 2 more, and up, breathe, and down. Last one, just because you can, and you're gonna hold it there for 8 counts. Squeeze those glutes. 8, 7, and 6, and 5. You okay, babe?
I'm fine.
And 2, and relax. Beautiful.
Yo, you're killing the arms
I
today.
know.
Yeah.
And put your feet in the core.
Oh, definitely cool. And
Okay.
especially the glutes, when you ask me to
There
squeeze
we
it,
go.
I do feel the whole body just literally holding on.
So now we're gonna work the legs a bit. So you're gonna grab onto it halfway. Halfway, you're gonna hold
halfway.
onto it.
Yeah.
And all you're gonna do, you're gonna lift the leg and you're gonna lift the other side.
Okay, so lift
Okay,
the
let's
leg.
go with the beat, other side and lift. Okay, in the beat, let's go. You know me and beats. There we go.
I know
It
you
just
and
adds
beats.
an extra beat.
Oh, my legs are
4,
burning.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, I know, you've got it.
I'm extra sore in Tinder. I did a big race this weekend,
Is
running
it?
for funds, but it was a proper
Okay,
burn.
so you
So
want
the-
us to slow it down?
The legs are especially
Can I give
feeling
you
it
the
today.
last one to slow it
Oh,
down?
yeah, okay,
this
bring it
one-
on.
This one I
Bring
call
it
it
on.
like the peekaboo, hey? So you're gonna look under your band and you're squatting. So now we're finishing off working those glutes.
All right, so look under the band. Oh, I see you,
There we
Mzansi.
go.
And I see you,
There
Natalie,
we
coming through with an exceptional workout this morning. We've got another round coming at you,
Good.
Mzansi. Part 2. Don't go anywhere. Stick around. We're getting shredding for the wedding. This is something G's absolutely going to love. And we'll see you for that one. Part 2 coming at you soon. Nice stuff. I love that.
Oh, man, lovely.
Oh, you can make my day.
1 in 2 healthy South African women suffer from iron deficiency. Speak to your healthcare professional about getting tested and treated for iron deficiency. Brought to you by FerryMed.
simple as CBD should be.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And we are shredding for the wedding, getting G prepared for his big day. And not only for G, but anybody else out there that's also getting ready for a wedding, whether you're a bride or a groom, it doesn't matter. We got you covered right now. And of course, when you speak about brides, every bride has a different idea of how they want to look on their wedding day. And it doesn't always involve exercise. But for many women, kickstarting a workout plan can offer them a few benefits besides just how good they're going to look in their photos. Now, think improved energy, a sense of strength and capability, and even reducing your anxiety. I know on the big day, a lot of you would love that. So we brought in the specialist once again, fitness trainer Natalie Daniels, back with us this morning to go through some of the best exercises to achieve these goals. Natalie, round one was awesome. I loved it. I love the fact that you packed such a good punch in such a small amount of equipment, making us realize there's no excuse. Really. There really isn't.
And there's no better way but to start. So for those brides or those grooms there, you know, 6 months before we get started, get out of bed, get started.
So literally, Mzansi, right now, when you're going to start? Now. Get off the couch? Now. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay. Right. What do you got first?
We're going to go on the floor because I know it's all about the waist and losing those centimeters and working that core. So we're going to go on the floor.
All right.
And what we're going to be doing, we're going to get that music going for us, you know.
DJ, bring that beat back.
And we're going to use these little gadgets soon. So all we're going to be doing is activating the core. So I'm going to go sideways to show you. And all you do, just pull it in the tummy. All you're going to do, you're going to go hands up here. 4, and then you're going to lift the feet off the floor for me. Give it up. 8, and we go 8, 7, 6, 5. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
3.
Don't talk to me.
2. 1 more. Just because you can. 4. And 3. And 2. Now the knees is going to come to the hands. Going to go. Now, knees and release. And knees. Touch the knees. Touch the knees. There we go. Are you touching? There we go. 4 more. And 3. I know. 2. And I'm going to go side to side. Go. Touch the floor. Touch the floor. Where are we working?
Oh, it feels like I'm hitting the obliques, yeah. Those Levi lines, yes. This is shredding for the wedding right here.
But you're feeling good. You need to feel good on that day. 4 more. And 3.
Okay, the music's helping, I must say.
I know.
Oh, it's like a dance now.
Now you're gonna go, relax, and keep it breathe.
Thank you.
Breathe. Okay. Just a few seconds. Here we go. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Are we ready? Go.
Right, the core.
Opposite arm. Touch the foot. Touch the foot. I know, horrible, eh?
Oh,
I'm not mean. I know.
I'm just thinking of those abs that are gonna come after this.
I know. Horrible.
Always worth it.
Get me side to side again. Go.
The burn is real, Natalie. Oh.
It's not like you're going to the band, eh? 4, 3, 2, and relax. Oh, I know, horrible.
Oh man, anybody is gonna fit into any dress after this, any suit. You don't worry. Just keep doing this work, and you are sorted. Right, moving over to the band now.
The last one. I think we've done the standing earlier.
Yeah.
So, legs up.
Legs up.
You're gonna hold the band, and you're gonna go.
Oh, jeepers.
I know, horrible. Hold that core. There we go. And you're breathing. Where are we working?
Definitely feel the core.
And smile for the cameras, you know.
Oh, no.
You've got to
Cameras
smile.
are getting no smiles from me now.
Smile. 4. And 3. And 2. And 1.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
I'm sorry.
Natalie Daniels coming through here.
Sorry.
If anybody was wanting to get shredded for a wedding, this is how you do it.
That's how you do it.
And such quick timing on the exercise. I mean, it just feels like all of a sudden you're working, you're moving, every part of your body's burning.
There
but
we
yet,
go.
look at the equipment we're using.
There we go.
A floor, a small band, and just a lot of
imagine
gusto and
space
some
it
good
up.
music.
And even when you're at work, grab this in your lunchtime, you think, I can't work out. Just like this. There we go.
Absolutely love it. So session 1, we had the upper body, a lot of that. The shoulders, especially for the wedding. Now we've done the core, the legs. This is exceptional stuff. I want to do one more round while we're at it. We've got some time.
There we go.
Let's go through it all again. I absolutely love that.
I actually want to leave this for now. What we're going to do, because I know some of the girls are always thinking,
Is this a bonus exercise?
Yes, you know,
Yes.
we do the glutes and stuff.
Okay,
so all
nice.
you do just a normal squat.
Yeah.
We go squat, squat, bring it up.
Okay.
Let's go and squat, squat, bring it up. Okay, just releasing it because we've worked those legs now. Gonna give me 4 more. Squirt, squirt. Last one, just because you can. Squirt, squirt. Bring it up. Now you're gonna stay down, stay down. Good. Hold it there. 4, 3, 2. You okay?
Natalie Daniels in the building. She is the specialist when it gets mums fit, but also today when it gets to shredding for the wedding. I love these exercises. Look forward to the next one. But of course, find her online for more inspiration and for more workouts. She is a specialist indeed. And after that, we're definitely worked up an appetite. Let's head to Zoe and find out what's cooking in the kitchen. Loved it. Nice stuff.
Oh, well, listen, we are going to be cooking, and if you are shredding for the wedding, well, you know what? This is where we're going to be helping you out because it is getting cooler and the food is getting more comforting each day. And for today, we thought this Nuts About Cooking vegan Big Mac toast is the best way to experience all your feel-good feelings guilt-free. Now, the special sauce that strikes the perfect balance between creamy and zesty, and Nondomiso is here to help us redefine comfort food because we are shredding for the wedding for Graham.
Yes, right?
And everyone else getting married, you want to shred for the wed.
Yeah.
So, Nondomiso, I'm super excited about this because it's Meat-Free Monday. We're doing this a vegan recipe, and of course, we are using our Nuts About Cooking, and this is our coconut oil non-stick spray.
Yes. Okay, so it's wonderful that you mentioned the spray. So could you please help me by spraying the baking pan with that spray?
Okay.
And it's lovely because it's vegan, as you mentioned, and we're all about the vegan products. So that would be really the first step, right? And then, of course, you want to add the bread to the pan now. And we are using shea butter today, but if you're at home and you don't have shea butter, you could always use something like sourdough, which is also just as lovely.
Looks like a smiley face if I do it this way.
Yes. Okay, then you want to layer that with some of that vegan mince and then top it off with the cheese. And while you do that, I'm going to be preparing the sauce.
Okay. Now, when you say vegan mince, I'm assuming, is this mushrooms chopped up or not?
It's vegan mince, so it's made with a meat alternative. It will really depend on which brand you use, how they would prepare the mince.
Okay.
Okay, so this sauce that I'm preparing here is wonderful because it is versatile. You could really use it like we're using it today on our sandwich, but you can also use it in your burger, or you could use it in on your nachos as well.
Ooh, listen, you're speaking my language. Nachos is always a winner. And what's amazing is our Nuts About Cooking coconut spray making, you know, the oil that we are using, it's making the healthier choice for you and your family.
Yeah.
And it's never been easier with the Nuts About Cooking range. Now, their coconut oil and spray contains 0 colorants or preservatives and are 100% vegan.
Yes. Okay, so I'm busy here preparing the sauce, and we're using the Be Well mayo today, which is also a lovely vegan product, by the way. And I've already added the Be Well mayo, some vinegar, and I'm going to add some garlic and onion powder, some barbecue sauce, some mustard, as well as some pickled cucumber, but we could also use gherkins as well. Okay, so it's really a beautiful, zesty sauce, as you've already mentioned.
How long can you keep that sauce for? Because it sounds like something you want to kind of keep in the fridge for a while.
Yes, it's lovely because it keeps very well. So you can keep it in the fridge for 3 to 4 days, and yeah, and then just whip it out whenever you want to prepare a delicious meal.
Okay, so we're going to pop this into the oven for the cheese to melt, and when it comes out, it will look something a little like this.
Yes. Okay, then you want to layer this with the onions first. Okay, so we're going to put on some onions, and then we add our sauce. A very delicious sauce, how creamy
and you're going to be
lovely.
quite generous with that.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And then, of course, top it off with the lettuce, and then just look how beautiful.
Look how yummy this is. So this is our Big Mac toast.
Yeah.
Oh, this sounds delicious. Well, you can also expect premium quality coconut products that are fully refined and also odorless, which equals more versatility not only in the kitchen, but through this for your skincare too, which is absolutely amazing. And the Nuts About Cooking oil coconut spray is a great alternative to butter or even other cooking oils. Its high smoking point makes it ideal for all types of cooking. And like Nondomiso just showed us, it is also great for baking because we're going to pop these little toasties into the oven. Nondomiso, this looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. Just look at how wonderful it is, and it's easy to serve for your little ones, or even if you want to pack it up for lunch and, you know, go to work, you know?
Yeah, so I have friends that swear by putting coconut oil in their hair. They swear about putting it on their skin.
Yes.
And I'm always like, Okay, I'll get there one day.
Not yet.
No, I'll get there. I'll get there. But it's amazing how versatile it is.
Yeah.
And this recipe is available for you. So if you are looking to take control of your life, whether it's for your weight and also your transformation, you want to transform also your mind, then the Nuts About Cooking 21-day health reboot, that is for you. It is a health reset challenge that serves as a platform to guide, mentor, and assist positive lifestyle changes. Now, you can sign up by purchasing a NAC, that is a NAC, coconut oil tub. You can fill in a sign-up form and then also upload your till slip to confirm your entry on nutsaboutcooking.co.za. That's nutsaboutcooking.co.za. And if you love this recipe this morning, head on over to our website, that's expressoshow.com. And if you've missed any of the steps that Nonomiso showed us, here is a quick recap.
Sorry, like
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. I'm very excited this morning. It's all about the nuptials today. Obviously, I'm feeling pretty inspired because my wedding is finally happening after 3 years of being postponed. But the wedding industry itself has been in that space, and it's taken some incredibly brave artists out there to fight back and create opportunities for themselves. And we've got two of those amazing artists right here who I've been lucky enough to share a stage with in many guises over the years. I'm talking about Dorette Roos, who's a cellist, and Eleni Diaga, a violinist. artist who have come here to share their considerable talents as soloists, yes, but also together. They have formed the incredible duo, Electric String Duo, and they're going to be performing just for you this morning, and for me a little bit, but for you guys. But let's give you a little taste of what they are capable of. Take a look. Yep, they aren't afraid of heights, okay, because that's where they're headed. They are incredible, and they are here this morning. A big round of applause, please. Electric String Duo. Eleni, Dorette, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
It's an absolute pleasure, guys. Because, yes, we're all feeling loved up and we love weddings. And I've been like, it's weird. We've crossed paths many times because I'm always the guy hosting the wedding expo or the wedding MC. And generally, you guys are there creating those magical moments, which is amazing. But I'm so interested to know, because you're both, in your own right, very talented. You've come together to create this awesome duo for a number of interesting motivations, but I'm assuming because you just love to play with each other. How important is that chemistry when you're connecting in this way? And how does it change from producing and creating music in your own right with your own very individual sound? And then how does that change and morph when you kind of introduce each other's influences?
Well, I think when you're performing as a soloist, you know, you are solely responsible for everything. You know, the music, the vibe, the look, it's all yours. And the really wonderful thing about coming together with a fellow musician is that all of a sudden, you know, you have two energies on stage, you have someone to collaborate with, to share with.
Yes, it's a whole new partnership. You have a whole different relationship going on, and the music itself, the harmonies are just so much richer, and they're just way more flavor, so it's actually just more
Which
fun.
one of you is more prone to a freestyle? Like who in which performance turns and goes, come on, really? Okay. No, we love that kind of creativity because you've taken classical music and you've turned it on its head. And I think there's this perception that classical music is performed there and we appreciate it from here. You guys have opened it up to create this experiential kind of vibe with your music. Why? Why take this kind of genre of music and introduce it? I mean, we've got Beethoven and Bieber. That's the most eclectic mix. Why was it so important for you guys to do that, to take the music that you love so much and introduce that to a new, probably 3 new generations?
Well, the most important thing is that music must be relatable and accessible and enjoyable for all ages. And, you know, we are born with a heartbeat, so it's already in us. We have that music within us. So you cannot not love music. So I think the most important thing is that we must grow with the generations and keep exposing them to new ways. I mean, they are used to smart life. Everything happens quick.
Instant gratification.
And yes, and music must be like that as well. It must adapt and grow with the generations that go with it. So, yeah, to mix it up is keeping it relatable and fresh with... Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, people love music that they know, you know, and it's also for us as classical musicians coming from a classical background, you know, it's a completely new creative experience, creative road that you go on if you know, break free, essentially, you know, like from...
And how do you apply that? Because you capture the essence of that song. We all know exactly what song it is, but you give it this completely new, different flavor. How do you go about approaching a modern song with a classical influence? How does that even begin from a creative process?
I think we were both fortunate enough to have had orchestra training from a young age, and that is such an important foundation to have, because you have the skills and the technique to apply in a completely different setting, but it also gives you the freedom you need to, you know, mix it all together and to create a new, fresh sound. So, I think it all comes back to orchestra training.
Yeah, to learn to let your hair down, to actually just let the guards down and actually play the music and just not think so much, because in orchestra you're very have to stick to what's on the page.
Yes,
Like,
there
we
is-
come together.
There's a framework,
There is
yeah.
no page.
Yeah.
You know, we just have to feel a lot more than, you know, and just...
Yeah.
And that's why you create not music, but moments.
Definitely.
And of course, they can be the soundtrack to your moment, the most special moment in your life, in fact. And they've been working with the Get Lucky Entertainment Collective that are doing amazing things in that wedding space. We'll have their details up. You can stream their music right now. You can get online and look them up. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you do, though, don't move a muscle, because they've got 3 performances coming, not for me, but also for you this morning. So good to have you guys here. Thank you for making the early start. They're going to blow your mind in just a moment. Stick around.
We want to take you on an island. It's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want you to go on an island because the Tropica Island of Treasure is back. And you know what that means. We're coming back with the best of the best in season 10. It's an all-stars cast, all of the excitement, baby.
That's right. And if you would like to win some of these amazing, incredible prizes, you have to do is the following. Buy the promotional Tropica bottle with the red cap and find your code underneath that cap, and you stand a chance to win loads of instant prizes. I mean, Tabiso, some of those prizes includes airtime, data,
Yes.
even Uber vouchers.
Say less, I want all of them. And if you find that treasure under the red cap, then you stand the chance to win yourself one of 10 incredible prizes. Now listen to these prizes, okay? Such as the Suzuki products worth up to 250,000 Rand. Yes, Uber vouchers worth 10,000 Rand. Yes. Rest assured beds, and of course that trip to the island of the Seychelles, and a lot more, and a lot more.
Okay, well, this is how you do it. All you have to do is follow the simple instructions on your Tropica product to enter by dialing *120*8767*, followed by your unique code, and then that hash button. Now, that's all on your cell phone to complete your entry.
So you compete to complete. Love to hear it. Now, buy Tropica today, and you could win one of your very own treasures. We've got one in here, but there is a lot more that's been stashed up somewhere, waiting for you to enter. Go and get those T's and C's. They are available, as well as more information on tropica.co.za. Let's go on Ireland.
I'm ready for my cocktail.
We are back with the best of the best in the All-Star Season 10 of Tropica Island of Treasure. And we're going big!
Just tell us why you should be chosen to compete with one of these all-star celebs and stand a chance to win a smooth 1 million Rand. WhatsApp your audition video or upload it on our socials at MyTropica for your chance to get a spot on the island.
So buy a Tropica today, and this could be you. See pack for details.
Tropica, nothing smoother.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Introducing new Panado Pediatric Syrup 5ml sachets. They're really convenient to pack and easy to use, so you're always prepared for pain and fever anytime, anywhere.
Welcome back, you beauties. Elenia and Dorette were just doing their sound check.
Phenomenal.
My word.
Phenomenal.
You guys are blessed this morning. But right now, let's celebrate those most important motherly figures in our lives. And mothers create life. You can drop the mic after that. That's enough, really. They are magnificent, they are powerful, they are supportive, as my own mom proved yesterday, helping me nurse myself back to health on Mother's Day. They are supportive, they are adoring beings, nothing short of magical.
Wow, that is so true. Now, Panado Mother's Day competition, which in fact, Mother's Day should be every day, and that's why we're continuing with it, not just ending it on Sunday. That gives you the opportunity to nominate the phenomenal mother in your life and stand a chance to win a cash prize of 2,500 Rand. And today is another one of those days, and we have a chance to produce and represent another lucky winner, and they're going to be on the line. So, drum roll, please. Can I present the next winner of the 2,500 Rand? It is Cindy Yatsabakira! Yeah, Cindy! I don't know if Cindy's on the line or not, but let's read out a comment in the meantime. And she said, what makes my mom, Anna Marie Pretorius, incredibly special and most deserving of this prize for me? Well, it's everything. She's strong, loves unconditionally, and puts others before herself. Most of all, I was blessed with my mom, who gave me the opportunity to do things I do for my own kids and be that inspiration for my kids. And that's what she was and still is for me. She's a role model indeed, and all I've learned from her is to love people even when they are in the wrong, because we don't know their situation. Hashtag Bernardo, hashtag a dose of care. Wow, G.
Cindy, are you a professional copywriter by any chance? That is the most amazing comment. Cindy, a very good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome from the Expresso family. How are you?
Good morning, Graham and Ryle. Nervous.
Well, it's done. You don't have to be nervous. You've already won, girl.
Yes.
You are 2,500 Rand richer, and you have an opportunity to share the love of your mom. And it does sound like you have an incredible connection. How do you feel about being a winner? And how was your Mother's Day yesterday?
Oh, it was so great. My husband unfortunately had to work, and my son had a sleepover. So it was just my mom, my daughter, myself, and we had a girls' weekend.
Ladies' weekend. I love that. That is awesome. So what are you planning to do with your prize money? Are we going to spend it on moms, maybe?
Definitely.
What are you going to get from Mama that she deserves?
It's not about what I'm getting. She can go get whatever she wants herself.
Oh, nice. Nice. I love that. I love the fact that you also wrote one of the most incredible messages that I've actually seen on the show. It just showed so much honesty, so much raw passion, and I can definitely see why your mother is clearly on the top of any list that you could think of.
So, Cindy, all you need to do...
One and only.
And it does look like you guys have an incredible connection and something that's continuing with your own kids, which we love. So please, on behalf of the Expresso family, give your mom and your kids and your entire family a massive hug and congratulations once again. That 2,500 Rand, courtesy of Panado, is on its way to you. We hope that your mom gets to enjoy Mother's Day for another day, and another day, and another day. Because moms deserve that. But Cindy, you seem like the most wonderful person. I'm so glad we could make you a winner this morning. Congratulations.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
You are awesome, man. Thank you so much. I love making winners. I love seeing this. I can see a smile through the phone. That's what makes this so awesome. And for you, Mzansi, don't worry, because this Mother's Day, well, it was on Sunday, but Panado Mother's Day prize money could not have come at a better time. And if you want to stand the chance of being the next winner, yes, the competition continues, then you can enter Panado Mother's Day competition right now. We can put a smile on your face too, and your mom's, and your mom's.
We are celebrating Mother's Day with Panado. Join Expresso weekday mornings to stand a chance of winning 2,500 Rand per day until Tuesday, 10th of May. Nominate a phenomenal mother by replying to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook or Twitter pages and tell us why they are a magnificent mother. Remember to tag the person you are nominating and to use hashtag Panado and hashtag a dose of care. Competition closes Tuesday, 10th of May at 8 a.m. when our 10th winner will be announced. T's and C's to be found on expressoshow.com.
Congratulations, Cindy. Time now for us to take a look at your news headlines at just after 7 o'clock here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. We start off here at home where the African Mining Indaba kicks off in Cape Town today. It's a gathering of mining industry players across the mining value chain from all over the world, as well as African government leaders, amongst others. Proceedings will formally start with the opening address by the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwede Mantashe. And this year's overarching theme is entitled Evolution of African Mining, Investing in the Energy Transition. Sustainability is one of the key buzzwords for the year, with the industry seeking to add to economic prosperity while working to mitigate climate change. Staying here at home, South Africans are urged to make their submissions to the Independent Communications Authority of South Africa's proposed new regulations that will extend the expiry period of data, voice and SMS services to 6 months. The public has until the 18th of May to make their submission, and unlike airtime, data bundles currently come with a 30-day expiry date, and if they're not used within the specific time, they lapse. If successful, the proposed regulations will see mobile operators extending the expiry period for data to 6 months from 30 days. In international news, the group of 7 leaders have committed to phasing out dependency on Russian energy as they announced fresh sanctions as part of an unprecedented package of coordinated sanctions to reinforce Russia's economic isolation because of Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. The G7, which unites the world's 7 wealthiest nations, that's Canada, France, Germany, Italy and Japan, as well as the UK and the US, has escalated a campaign against Russian elites who support President Vladimir Putin. Now, the group accused them of bringing shame on Russia's historic sacrifice against the Nazi Germany in World War II. And over in Nigeria, Nigeria's airlines are to stop domestic operations from today in protest at the spiraling cost of jet fuel. It has risen almost fourfold this year, which was unsustainable. The airline operators of Nigeria said no airline in the world can absorb this kind of sudden shock from such an astronomical rise over a short period. Its statement said. Now, the hikes have been triggered principally by Russia's, and primarily so by Russia's invasion of Ukraine on the 24th of February. Despite being Africa's largest oil producer, Nigeria imports almost all of its jet fuel. Now, they say everything is bigger in Texas. Apparently, dogs too, as well. A 2-year-old Great Dane from the Lone Star State was dubbed the tallest dog in the world by Guinness World Records, being officially measured at 1 meter and 4 centimeters in height. Look at that, so cute. Guinness announced that Zeus, a dog belonging to Brittany Davis of Bedford, is now the holder of the record for the tallest male dog living. Woo, okay. David says Zeus was a gift from her brother when he was only 8 weeks old, and he says he's been a big dog since we got him, even for a puppy. He had enormous paws, and David told Guinness World Records that Zeus' massive stature means that Brittany has to field some crazy questions when people first lay eyes on him. As you can imagine, I mean, look at that. The comment that we hear most often is, wow, that's a horse. Can I ride him? Or does he have a saddle? And she says that they didn't think Zeus to be the tallest dog alive, but once they measured him, they realized he probably was. Yes, like it. That's where we leave it for now. Here's a look at your sports with Graham.
Yes, Tubbs, every dog does have its day, and this weekend it was Man City who moved that step closer to retaining the Premier League title with an emphatic 5-0 demolition of Newcastle. That while Arsenal beat relegation-threatened Leeds 2-1 to boost their bid for a top 4 finish on Sunday. So Pep Guardiola's side took control before half-time at the Etihad thanks to goals from Raheem Sterling and Emerick Laporte, and proving that just about anyone on the park can score. Rodri then got City's third before Phil Foden and Sterling struck in stoppage time as they stormed back to the top of the table. The defending champions taking full advantage of Liverpool's 1-1 draw against Spurs the day before. And Chelsea, they were held to a 2-2 draw by Wolves, while Man United, they suffered a horror 4-0 loss at the hands of Brighton. Then we bring it back home for local football, and it's all about that chase again for places on the continent and who's going to finish second. So the weekend's Premiership action kicked off at the Lucas Moripa Stadium as SuperSport United and Swallows FC played out to a very entertaining 2-2 draw on Friday night. Then on Saturday, the Marumo Gallants, they hosted Golden Arrows, with the game ending 0-0 in a stalemate there, while the game between Amazulu and Sekhukhune United ended with that same scoreline. And Cape Town City, they were the big winners. They saw themselves jump into second spot on the log. That was after a 2-0 win over TS Galaxy. The Mother City-based club also extending their unbeaten streak to 12 games now in all competitions. What a time to hit it. In the final game of the weekend, our champions, Mamelodi Sundowns, they travelled to Kaizer Chiefs on Sunday evening. Aubrey Modiba continued his incredible form, got his name on the score sheet again for Sundowns, while Purachetso Nanga, he scored for the Gamma Boys to ensure that they ended one apiece. Then we move on to a new track, actually, for Formula 1. Max Verstappen, he resisted a late Charles Leclerc onslaught to win the inaugural Miami Grand Prix, and of course, in so doing, cut his rival's championship lead now to just 19 points. So Verstappen was in supreme form and pretty comfortable after overtaking both Ferraris early on in the race. That was before a late safety car caused by a dramatic Lando Norris crash led to a thrilling finale as the field had to bunch up. Leclerc, the pole sitter who lost his lead on lap 7, then suddenly found pace again in the closing stages. As Formula 1's 2022's title protagonists, they gave us what they've been giving us and are hopefully going to give us till the end of the season, an unbelievable battle. But he just couldn't get ahead of Verstappen despite getting close with DRS. And Carlos Sainz also in great form. He came home in third, with Sergio Perez finishing in fourth. And then we turn to tennis. This kid is on the rise. Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz, he raced to the Madrid Open title yesterday, brushing aside German Alexander Zverev 6-3, 6-1 in 62 minutes. Excuse me. So the victory in just over an hour took the 19-year-old's winning streak to 10 matches on the trot, and of course gave him a second consecutive title after victory last month in Barcelona. So Alcaraz beat Rafa Nadal and world number 1 Novak Djokovic on his way to the Madrid final. This will now see him climb to number 6 in the world when the latest rankings get released later today. Alcaraz, who turned 19 just this last week, in fact, captured his second ATP Masters 1000 level title after winning in Miami in March. And in fact, the only younger player to reach that milestone was Nadal himself, who won in Monte Carlo and then in Rome when he was only 18 years old. But if you missed any of those highlights, we'll go through it again at 8 o'clock right now. Let's set the tone for the week with what we can expect from our weather.
Thank you, Graham. Well, the most unusual method of research has confirmed the fact that insects in nature are on the decline. Now, 2 conservation groups in the UK set out to test the oft-observed windscreen phenomena, and the result was shocking. The number of flying insects landing on British vehicles fell by almost 60% in just 17 years. BugLife CEO Matt Shardlow, who conducted the research, said this vital study suggests that the number of flying insects is declining by an average of 34% per decade. Shardlow said, and I quote, "This is terrifying for the health and well-being of future generations. This demands a political and societal response. Biodiversity decline must be halted now," end of quote. Now, the University of Connecticut in the US entomologist David Wagner added that insects are essential for pollinating food, recycling waste, and contributing to the food web. Insects are absolutely the fabric by which Mother Nature and the tree of life are built, he said. Well, certainly hope that they'll have some great results from that research study. And from your environmental news, we now turn our attention to those sunrise views that you've been sharing. Now, Neil Naidu is kicking us off this morning at your 7 o'clock update from Westbrook Beach with this one as the golden sun rises over the ocean, and a regular photographer, Nancy Govender from Umkomaas, was watching the day begin over her area as she captures the soft-hued shot of the day beginning and showing off a glow in the distance. Absolutely beautiful. Well, let's look at those temperatures. In Polokwane, a low of 10 and a high of 23. Mbombela, 15 with a high of 23. Pretoria, 9:22. Johannesburg, 8, reaching a high of 20. It's sunny in Mahikeng, 6 is your low, 22 your high. Klerksdorp, 5, reaching a high of 21. Kimberley, 5 with a high of 20. Bloemfontein, 2, reaching a high of 20. Richards Bay, 14 with a high of 24. If you're in Pietermaritzburg, 9 is your low, 21 your high. Durban, 15, reaching a high of 23. Partly cloudy conditions in Mthatha, a low of 8, a high of 21. East London, 12, reaching a high of 22. Cradock, sunny, but a cool 5 is your low and 19 your high. Gqeberha, 12, reaching a high of 23. George, 9, 21. Cape Town, 10, with a high of 19 for today. If you're in Worcester, a low of 9 and a high of 25. Sutherland 5-19 and Uppington a low of 7 and a high of 25 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for now on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Now, Mzansi, don't go anywhere because we are still continuing with our theme. The wedding bells are ringing and we're going to be shredding for the wedding. And on top of that, our artists are standing by. Eleni and Dorette, they are waiting to serve you with some magical classical entertainment. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just a bit.
I hope you'll always know how much I love you. I hope that you never stop learning and growing. That you'll be brave and joyful and kind. And that one day, when you look at me and I look at you, we'll love the wonderful you that you've become. It all begins with purity.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to it. It's a Monday morning. It's your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. We're live here on S3. Thank you very much for choosing to wake up with us. You've made the right choice, and we're glad that you did. Now, we know this, 2020, and all that it threw at us. Let's not go back there. We know that it wasn't enough to stop love, engagements, wedding celebrations over here, over there, everywhere. Now, when it comes to the wedding trends for 2022, you got to start thinking about that, right? We've got you covered with the help of a familiar face. It's Kirsty Aitken, who is a seasoned wedding planner and owner of Weddings Out of Africa, having executed over 1,200 dream weddings, not just weddings, dream weddings, the stuff of dreams. She specializes in planning your big day up to the minute detail, and she joins us today to talk about, you know, the most captivating trends for weddings this year, because weddings are back, Kirsty.
They are. Good morning.
Kirsty, I can hear the bells. I can hear the bells. I can hear the bells.
Yay!
Let's talk about weddings sort of, you know, making a big comeback and people really just revisiting all of their vision boards and wanting to get back into it? Are you seeing a lot of that happening now?
Absolutely, absolutely. There's so much excitement and so many couples that had to postpone their weddings over 18 months.
Wow.
So to be able to be a part of those days and celebrate with the couples and see the day come to fruition, there's just no better feeling.
It's beautiful,
It's beautiful,
right?
absolutely.
What we're seeing as well, Kirsty, is that a lot of the weddings are becoming so much more small scale now, which is either a good thing or a bad thing depending on the family you come from. Because I can imagine for me, I mean, my aunties would totally still rock up whether I invited them or not.
Exactly.
But what's that looking like, and what sort of considerations are you now having to play with?
There's definitely a trend to intimate, smaller. A lot of couples are downscaling and just keeping it extremely small and about the couple. So we are definitely finding a trend that is turning towards just focusing on the couple and a lot less guest numbers.
Yeah.
But, you know, a wedding day is beautiful no matter what the size of it is. And I do often find that those more intimate celebrations are extremely meaningful, a little less stressful for the couple as well sometimes. So, yeah.
I love that. And you did say weddings are beautiful. I mean, that is a fact. It's so, so true. Aesthetics play such an important role in how your wedding translates and how it makes you feel. What are the sort of key aesthetics sort of trends that you're seeing?
Well, definitely a very big move to overhead floral decor. We're finding that there's a lot less emphasis on the tables and a lot more going overhead, very dramatic and very natural. So people are bringing in plants and trees and beautiful greenery, lots of lighting. Lighting is very key. We're finding this year that the gold elements have come in really beautifully. So lots of candlelight. Little gold edges that are sort of taking away from the more traditional stainless steel silver look. Really beautiful.
Rituals, Kirsty.
Yes.
Rituals. You can't mention weddings and not think of those, you know, age-old rituals we've come to know and expect from weddings. What are some of those rituals that are sort of taking the back seat now? Because, you know, the door is closed.
Right. So couples are realizing that they don't actually have to have those traditions. There's no rules on a wedding day. So a lot of couples are saying, well, actually, I don't want to throw the garter or the bouquet. Those traditions seem to be falling away a lot. But interestingly enough, elements like the couple's first dance. Big.
Okay, so that's
very big.
Because people are into TikTok and doing choreography now, so you can imagine they want to show off.
So they're doing lessons, they're doing spectacular dances, and in fact, the couples are not just doing it for themselves, they're actually bringing in their entire bridal party, and they're becoming part of that. So the entrance into the reception dinner becomes about everybody having a little bit of a moment. The best man, the bridesmaids, it's special.
I love it. You know what? I recently got to MC such a beautiful, beautiful wedding. I was disappointed when they didn't throw the gutter, not for myself, but just for the ladies who I saw were anticipating
because
that.
you expected it.
Because I expected it. You know, I was ready to go, all the single ladies, get on the dance floor. This is your moment. But let's talk about small budgets, right? If you have a small budget, you still want a dream wedding, some quick tips before we let you go.
Okay. So I would say definitely create a pyramid of priorities for your wedding day. Every couple is different, and every couple has a different way of wanting to celebrate the day. So I recommend to my couples to decide what is most important to them and to work down from there. Certainly in saving, the venue is a very important decision. Don't go and choose a venue that is outrageously expensive and then you have no budget left anywhere else. So that's a clever way to start. And then obviously little details, if you're trying to cost save, a DJ is going to cost you less than beautiful live musicians.
But certainly don't cut back on the MC and book me to do that, okay? And Kirsty, you're fantastic. Thank you so much.
Wonderful to be here.
Please let us continue seeing those beautiful weddings. And in fact, you can get in touch with Kirsty. It's weddingsoutofafrica.com. All of the information is on there. I'm sure she does share some tips there as well, because I can hear the bell. That's not a real song. Oh, come on, it is. Come on.
Obviously, I think you and Kirsten make a great team. I wouldn't just hire you as the MC. You could be the entertainment too with that voice, man. And speaking of a perfect pairing too, what about mac and cheese? Because it definitely is one of the most loved family meals that ever existed. And with a spicy kick, it gets even better. Now, we're going to prep up a veggie queso mac and cheese, and it is all the inspiration you need to get the family eating even more. Now, here to show us how is Nondo Miso, and it's guaranteed to make the crowd be pleased, and we're going to make that reality right now. How we doing?
Right. I started
You're well into it, yeah?
It's sizzling. Hey. Okay.
What's in the pan?
First I wanted to say, why do we love mac and cheese? It's because it feels like a hug in a bowl, isn't it?
It is. It's a hearty meal. It's got the warmth, and it's like comfort food at the same time. You really know, like after a tough day of just whatever it is you're doing on a Monday, this is something you can look forward to. Just tuck in and just get your comfort on. And by the ingredients, it doesn't look like it's unhealthy either, right?
No, not at all. So we're using vegetables, as you see, which is great. So I have already added to a saucepan some potatoes, butternut, carrots, as well as some garlic, and I'm covering that up with some veggie stock.
Oh, nice.
You could always use water if you don't have vegetable stocks. And of course, you want to then add some salt and pepper to taste. And then leave the vegetables to cook until they're tender.
Okay.
And once they're cooked, you want to then transfer them to a blender and mix that up or blend them until they're smooth, right? Smooth and creamy. And you want to get this type of consistency.
Just like a puree or a soup or something like that. It looks like you could just eat it right there.
Yeah, right?
But it doesn't stop there. It
No,
gets better.
it doesn't at all. So while the vegetables are cooking, we're going to start preparing the cheese sauce.
All right.
And we're going to do that. I've already melted some butter here. Then we add some of it, gradually add some flour, right? You want to add the flour gradually just to avoid any clumps from forming.
Okay.
And you want to be whisking in the process. Okay, right. So if you could just start preparing the mac and cheese there
So
while I'm
this goes
preparing
in
the
first,
cheese
right?
sauce. Yes. So we've got some macaroni there. You're adding it to a baking dish.
Yes.
And here
Do I put it all in, or do I layer it up at
No, there's no need to layer. You could just add it.
Ham. Let's go wild. Let's get all the good stuff in here. And Zanzi, if you are wondering about the name of this dish, queso, or queso as it might be said, it's a Spanish word and it's meaning chili, right?
Chili,
now,
yes.
it adds a heap of flavor to any dish, and this dish in its own is also perfect for your meat-free Monday, or the perfect side dish to any roast meat that you may be serving. And let me tell you, Mzansi, just alone on the smiles that I'm getting, and we're only halfway there, it's definitely something that's going to get everybody chowing down. Whether it's for lunch, whether it's for supper, whether it's leftovers, this is going to be a winner. I don't know if there's even going to be leftovers after something like this. All right, I'm getting distracted. I've still got cheese to put in here. I've still got the mix that you just made, which is the veg, which has been boiled and softened, essentially, and then blended up. So I'm popping that in here too. And then what's in the bowl? Is that tomato sauce that I've got?
Yes, some salsa sauce.
Salsa sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're getting nice and Spanish.
Yes,
salsa. Get the hips moving in the kitchen this morning. Loving it. And I'm loving the fact that this seems like fun. Like we're both working in the kitchen. This is something that the family can get involved in too, right? And kind of just make an experience out of it.
Yes. And by the way, so we're working simultaneously because it just works better that way.
Yeah.
But for the salsa sauce, of course, we have added some milk as well.
Okay.
So you want to add the milk gradually as well and whisk as you go along.
All right.
And then layer that also with some cheese or mix in some cheese as well. And then you can add some jalapenos. We're using peppers today, but if you're feeling like a bit more spice, you could add those jalapenos.
I love that. And I love the fact that you're adding in some of that milk, giving that creaminess.
Yes.
How's mine looking over here? Should I mix this up?
Mix it up.
Mix it all up. It looks like this meal is already coming together. If you want to find the inspiration or you just woke up, oh, you're late, it's Monday morning, but don't worry, Mzansi, we got you covered. You can find the recipe at expressoshow.com. Myself and the beautiful chef here are making magic. It's a queso mac and cheese. It's meat-free, but it can also be the side dish for any meat version that you do make. But, oh, it's smelling so, so good already. And that's pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
Voila. Mzansi, expressoshow.com. Get the recipe from myself and the chef at your service. I hope you enjoyed this one.
Only you can make my day.
Welcome back to our wedding-inspired show. Yes, I'm going to be getting married in a few weeks' time. I couldn't be happier. But of course, we are inspired by love, by creating amazing moments. And the people that we are introducing you to this morning do that in the most spectacular and sometimes most hilarious way. And joining us today is a man with many talents. Martinez Fantier is a cartoon caricaturist, an animator, a voiceover artist as well. But what makes him of particular interest to us today is how he entertains guests at weddings by creating the most beautiful and hilarious illustrations of them that seem to capture the inner spirit in a way that I've never seen before. Martinez, I've seen you at work before. I've seen, and I've got to say this, the effect that you have on couples at weddings. It becomes a talking point. It becomes something that everyone can laugh at. I love the fact that you are able to capture people's character. How do you do it, buddy? Is it a gift? Where does a talent like this come out, and who did you first draw to discover this?
You know, it's something that I think you have an inherent eye for, is to see the caricature, but important part is also, like, obviously putting in the hours. You gotta do hundreds and hundreds of drawings. But for me, when someone sits down at a wedding, like, you see that first impression, like someone immediately sits in front of me and I get an image and I try not to second guess it, because as soon as you start second guessing yourself, you lose the likeness.
You go straight,
So, yeah.
So you need that hook. I love the fact that you represent, because I've worked within the wedding industry, obviously as an MC a lot, so I've pretty much been the MC for every person that I've ever been to's wedding. And I love the fact that I get to see where the industry is going, and I've loved the fact that we are turning to these sorts of activities at a wedding. What do you think what you do adds to the experience of a wedding?
So, for one thing, it's like an icebreaker, because it means, you know, people who don't necessarily know each other rock up, they're awkward, they don't know what to say to each other, and then I kind of, you know, I'm there to, like, do a little bit of light roasting, which kind of puts everyone on the same page.
You're like an air fryer, just a gentle roast.
Exactly,
nice,
a gentle roast. Well, it depends. Unless they start heckling me, then the roast gets a bit more severe.
Well, then they ask for it. Then they ask for it. So I'm looking at you, I'm trying to work out the timeline here, because someone warned me about my own wedding. Have a timeline, because if you had to work out how many guests you have versus how much time you have to see all of them, you're going to need to speak to everyone for 2 minutes every 10 minutes, otherwise you're not going to get through it all. The same thing applies to you, kind of, because you'll have 20 guests that you've got to draw. How quickly can you do it? And what are you doing right now? Who are you drawing right now?
I'm doing your caricature right now. I mean, that's how you're reacting now. I don't know if that's going to be your reaction in 2 minutes. I draw, each couple takes about 6 minutes, so it's 3 minutes per person.
Okay.
And yeah, I draw about 20 people in an hour.
Wow. And do you find now, when you look at a person, the first thing that pops into your mind is that hook of, oh, I'd love to draw you. This is how I would draw you, buddy.
Being in my head is quite terrifying, because it's just everyone looks like a caricature to me permanently. So, yeah. Sometimes you go to a mall or something and you're like, I wish I had my pens with me.
What led you to this point? Because I get the feeling you could, just judging by the TV CV that I gave you, and I love encapsulating the person's life in a 30-second intro, but I kind of get the feeling you could go in a lot of different directions. What is it about this that you get out? What is the thing that has led you back into this special space? Because I love being a part of other people's magical moments. That's great. You get to be a part of these weddings in a very special way. Why?
So, being an illustrator can be like quite a almost secluded life, you know? So it's always really lucky to be in a crowd of people, everyone's having a good time, everyone's having fun. It's kind of the rush that I imagine a comedian gets at the end of the show, you know, like every time I turn the drawing around and there's a big laugh, like it's a kick, you know.
And especially now that we can actually be in front of people. I mean, I think that when we last connected, that was my first post-COVID audience that I appreciated that audience, man.
For sure.
One of the best, one of the best nights that I've had, because they were there and they were up for it. Just like the crowd at a wedding are, and I think that's where we get to have our most fun, is that you've got this receptive audience. So you're a performance artist ultimately, as much as you're an artist.
It's a weird job for a very shy person to do, but I guess like when I'm there, when I'm in the seat, like I'm in my element. You know?
I love it. Well, let's see if I'm going to be in my element now. Are you done?
Prepare. Drum roll.
Okay.
Here we go.
And we do actually have a drum roll at cue, so we can get a bit of a drum roll. I'm going to brace myself. Oh, he's beautiful. Look at him. You captured me, man.
A lot of eyebrows there.
100%, man. Yeah, man.
Baie wenkbrauwe and I put it there.
Oh, nice. You gave me a bit of a Giga Chad jaw to make me feel a bit more masculine ahead of my wedding.
You can also see, like, I don't pull any punches with my own
Exactly, dude.
So.
I love it, man. I absolutely love it. It's getting framed and it's going up in my house. I don't.
Beautiful.
But
Thanks,
you are
Graham.
unbelievably talented at
Thank
what you
you.
do.
Shaka.
You're also a wonderful human being, and I think that's something that people need to take into context. When you're going to bring your clan around you for a wedding, have people you can trust and people you know whose hearts are in the right place. And I can see from the work that you do that your heart very much is invested in this, dude. So thank you so much. Who can we draw next? Maybe Zoe is going to be our next cannon fodder. An amazing artist, but I would say a moment creator. Someone who's going to help to elevate the experience of your guests and yourself in a way that you will all remember for the rest of your lives. And speaking of which, we're going to continue on that train right now with another performance duo that are going to do the same.
Definitely, and you do want to have them at your wedding. I'm getting so excited for today, and I know it's only leading up to Graham's big day. Now, we're about to deliver the soundtrack to your week, and this is courtesy of two exceptionally talented musicians, Dorette Roos as well as Eleni de Jager. And here they are with a cover of Bum Bum by Camila Cabello. Here you go. Dio, Eleni and Dorette on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, making it feel like we're on an episode of Bridgerton right now. Like, this is how I want to live the rest of my life. Listen, that was absolutely incredible. You are both so, so talented, and I can just imagine how you elevate each and every performance and venue that you go to. But don't go anywhere. They're going to stay on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. They've got another performance on its way.
Join Expresso this autumn for a chance to win one of 6 Plascon vouchers, each to the value of 5,000 Rand. With nature's own forests, fields and beaches inspiring Plascon's new color combinations, tell us how you would color your life. Answer our weekly social media question and find the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com. So, color your life with 5,000 Rand Plascon paint vouchers to be won this autumn on Expresso.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back to our wedding-inspired show this morning. Of course, I'm inspired by my own impending nuptials. In less than a month, I'm going to be tying the knot, and I couldn't be more excited. But it's given us an opportunity today to explore all things wedding-related. And meeting with the florist and decor stylist is a big part of that process. Before you do know, get to know what you want, you need to go through this checklist. And when Nazima Noor founded the Flower Girl back in 2016, she had one goal in mind: to create and share her love for custom floral creations, and boy, isn't she doing that. Nazima drew on her experiences as a fashion designer and makeup artist with a string and a very of successes immediately, and I think this all rounded off by a strong sense of visuals and color coordination. She just has that knack, and her passion for providing a bespoke customer experience proved to be a winning combination, leading to her success in the local floristry and decor industry. As I said, she's achieved a lot in a very short amount of celebration time. And today, Nazima walks us through a custom seating arrangement and this beautiful flower arrangement that I see before me. I've looked at a lot of flowers, obviously, in the last few months, building towards my own wedding. Nazima, thank you so much for bringing your very trademark sense of creativity to the space. Let's start with this beautiful piece that you've put together. Walk us through this creation. It is gorgeous.
Okay, so today I decided to create a boho chic themed main table.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite trendy right now, so using a lot of warm tones, a lot of dried flowers. So I've used a velvet thick tablecloth.
This crushed velvet vibe, yeah.
In a rich color. To go with it, I added a burnt orange napkin.
Nice.
It's a bit softer though than the velvet, just to add texture.
Okay.
Okay, white dinner plate, and then this placemat here, which is very popular right now. Very unique.
Yeah, but I think that you want something unique. You want to find a balance, and often it's about finding that one accent that you will spend the money or invest on to elevate everything else. Don't spend a ridiculous amount on every element of your wedding.
Pieces.
Exactly. You need those accent pieces. I love the fact that and I think that's a general style sense or motivation at the moment is bringing outside inside, and especially in a wedding space, you want it to feel fresh and natural and earthed.
Right, and then I've added gold cutlery to match my gold candlestick holders. So it just like blends in, and then I thought this beautiful glasses over here in the green color, just to add something to it.
There's a bit of old school. There's a nostalgic feel. It feels like this is something that 3 generations would absolutely love, and there are some beautiful little contemporary additions. Let's be honest though, at the heart of decor and design at a wedding are the flowers. Why are flowers such an important part?
Well, flowers add a lot, as you can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it adds a lot to the table. It adds colors, it adds textures, and it's something very personal to the bride and groom as well. Yeah, so...
and it is. It becomes yet another way that you can have your own personality and what makes you as a couple special and what you want to be represented kind of front and center. As I understand it, there is something special about your flowers specifically. Can you fill me in?
Okay, so I use a lot of silk artificial flowers. So these aren't real flowers besides the greens. And I use preserved flowers as well, but they can be rented from me. So... you don't have to purchase them, in other words.
And I mean, I've heard people dropping 140 grand on fresh flowers for a wedding, which you don't need to do. Go to the Maldives on your honeymoon.
It's nice, eh?
And I'm glad the wedding industry has gotten a little less precious about it, and they are looking at ways of making weddings more accessible.
Definitely.
Because everyone deserves to have the most special and wonderful day, and it shouldn't come at a prohibitively expensive cost. I love that. Let's talk about the current trends at the moment. Okay, obviously we've got the flowers are center stage here, but what are the trends that drive you, and what's got you most excited about where we are at the moment?
Trends now are basically little bud for the guest tables, little bud vases with single stems flowers, preserved flowers, lots of preserved, and lots of candlelight too.
I love, again, bringing a natural feel, because you want it to be warm and comforting and engaging, and you want people to make those connections and have space to be able to kind of do their own thing, but also feel like they're part of a bigger, the bigger flow of the evening. Just very quickly, if people are looking for interesting ways of introducing flowers, I know the big centerpieces might not be for everybody's taste.
Yeah, I know.
So it's about being able to bring in those elements in the right way. How would you recommend someone does that?
I think, well, floral installations are very in right now. A beautiful arch, a beautiful flower wall, maybe. Well, basically, you could add flowers anywhere.
I love the idea, because everyone, you've got to gram it, otherwise it's not an official wedding. So if you've got a flower wall, it suddenly creates another talking point, another experiential element of the wedding. What you've done is amazing. I can understand why you're the it girl at the moment in this space. Your work is incredible, and we will have Nazima's details up here. If you have impending nuptials, or if you're just planting that seed, excuse the pun, and are looking for some great decor ideas, we'll make sure that you can connect with her. But thank you so much for giving us some beautiful wedding-inspired inspiration. And we're going to continue on that trend with another amazing performance and more decor ideas. Don't stray too far.
Well, we are keeping the wedding theme going, from decor and flowers to something borrowed that's also sweet, and it's this next recipe.
So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Well, listen, one classic dish that makes any morning more special is French toast. So today we are borrowing this classic and adding a twist into our healthy cinnamon French toast casserole. And this comforting dish will have everyone coming back for more. And Nondamiso is here to help us make this delicious recipe. I mean, I've never heard of a French toast casserole.
Oh, so we've actually leveled it up this morning because we're using banana bread. Actually, imagine, right? And I love this because dessert's always my favorite part of the meal, right?
So this isn't breakfast, this is dessert.
This is dessert.
Okay.
Well, it's dessert. What did I say? I said
you said dessert.
I said dessert.
Yes.
Well, dessert can be can also be breakfast. Okay. So what we're going to do now, we're going to whisk an egg. We're preparing our milk mix, and we're going to add some milk, and then some cinnamon, some vanilla essence.
And those are winning combinations.
Right.
Flavor profiles, cinnamon and vanilla.
Right. Okay, and then some butter, and I've got some maple syrup as well. Oh, it smells so good, my goodness. Okay, so you could please, in the meantime, be adding that banana bread into a baking dish there.
Okay. Do I need to press it flat in any way?
Oh, no, no.
Cut up into teeny tiny little blocks.
Yes, 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 that's what we want. And if you want to sprinkle some more cinnamon onto the bread, because the more cinnamon we have, the better.
And this banana bread is smelling incredible. We're going to sprinkle some cinnamon. We do want that.
Oh, my goodness. All right. Okay, so isn't it just lovely how simple this is? And in just a couple of steps, you have yourself a very yummy dessert slash breakfast, whatever
and we're going to be serving it with our Clover Classic Dairy Snack. And what's amazing about our Clover Classic Dairy Snack, it is deliciously smooth and creamy, and the vanilla flavor pairs perfectly well with this warm cinnamon flavors that we are making for our cinnamon French toast casserole. What a winning combination. So you simply just mixed all of those wet ingredients together.
Yeah.
You're about to pour it over our banana bread that's already in our dish, and then that goes into the oven.
Yes, it goes into the oven. And you could also add some berries, some fresh berries if you want to serve it with that. And then you bake it for about 30 minutes until it's golden brown.
And then you serve it with your Clover Classic Dairy Snack. And with Clover Classic, you stand the chance to also win your share of 500,000 Rand in prizes. Now, to enter, buy any Clover Classic Custard Dairy Snack, fat spread, or even mayonnaise, and WhatsApp the till slip of your purchase to 074 909 0000. Those T's and C's do apply and can be found on clover.co.za. It is classic and a timeless taste. But if you have missed any of these steps that Nondamiso just showed us, which is absolutely delicious, I can't wait to try that for breakfast. Yeah. It's our breakfast dessert. Here's a quick recap for you.
Made with love by Clover. Only you can make my day.
Spend your money wisely. Ungayi ngabantu. Do you want a bank that takes your money or a bank that takes your money choices seriously? Join Nedbank today.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, Mzansi, welcome back. Your Feel Good Breakfast Show. And yes, it is Monday, although it might not feel like it because we're bringing you all the right stuff, ticking all the boxes this morning, and we're going to carry on right now. And especially for those entrepreneurs and budding business enthusiasts, you want to listen up. You want to start a business? Well, you really need only two things, and that's a great idea as well as funding. And if you already have the idea but just need the funding, then you're definitely going to want to listen closely to our next guest. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Michael Deploy, the CEO of Cashflow Capital. Michael, how are you doing?
Good. I feel like a bit of a buzzkill.
No ways, man.
Like food and weddings and things. Now we're talking about funding.
Trust me, man, there's so many people listening right now that are so interested in this because everybody has a great idea, but they need that assistance, they need that opportunity. And with you, they're kind of getting that opportunity. And maybe you can tell us a bit more what exactly Cashflow Capital actually is. What are you guys doing and what is the opportunity?
Yeah, so Cashflow Capital is it's a working capital provider. So essentially it forms part of a bigger group company called Preference Capital, under which there are several funding companies. So with Cashflow Capital, once you kind of meet with us, we all talk to each other in terms of the different subsidiaries underneath the umbrella. So if you come to us for working capital and it seems like you need asset finance or whatever it is at the end of the day, yeah, we can point you in the right direction. So you're really getting sort of an end-to-end business funding solution.
All right, you're providing a lot of what many are chasing, essentially, when it comes to creating that big idea. But one thing that I'm very certain of is a lot of people may be watching right now like, oh, yes, cool, I can get funding finally. But what is the cost of it? Is it going to mean that I'm going to lose control? Do Cashflow Capital now come and just say, okay, well, you're not allowed to do this, and they start running your business? Because a lot of people have this perception that when they try to get funding, they lose control and they lose a lot of what they want out of the company. Is that the case here?
I'd love to take everyone's business, but that's not the case.
Okay, well, breathe a sigh of relief, Mzansi. They're not taking your money, they're not taking your control.
No, so, I mean, with equity transactions, which, I mean, there's debt and equity. Yeah. Typically, then someone would want control. We are only in the debt space, so it's really up to you in terms of how you utilize that, especially for the unsecured product. The other products normally have some restrictions to it, but then you're doing something like you're buying a machine and renting it until you've paid up the loan and then you own the machine. So, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you've got full control. Yeah. Lenders only care about getting paid back.
How you do it, it doesn't matter. But you guys are there, obviously, to provide that assistance to make sure that it can also get paid back, right?
I think that's a massive thing from us. So we are very, very focused on our personal relationships with clients. So you're always going to feel like you have someone to talk to, someone to strategize against. You know, it's not like this blanket lender get money and then, you know, it's a scary thing of paying us back.
You kind of feel like you're left on your own and
yeah, you got to make sure it works. So like a lot of people take on debt for the wrong reasons, or they'll take on too much debt, and you got to make sure it like fits in with your plans for expansion or whatever it is. The right type of debt is very important.
All right. Well, maybe we can speak more specifically about the products that you're offering. I mean, you briefly mentioned it earlier, but when it comes to maybe small and medium businesses, what exactly is it that you can provide for them?
So within Cashflow Capital, there's two main products. The one is an unsecured business loan. There we're normally looking at sort of the cash flow in the business. So we want to see some sort of established business that's got a good track record there.
Some historical data is going to help there.
Yeah, I mean, that's, unfortunately, lending is a lot about looking at historical data. Yeah. But that's nice for like quick things. So, you know, if you're a fast food joint and your chip maker breaks.
Yeah, you need to get that replaced.
Yeah, it needs to happen quickly. The other product is trade finance, which facilitates the funding of your purchasing your goods and then selling that on. So whatever that cash conversion cycle is between when you get the goods and when you sell them and when you actually get the money, we can make that process a lot easier so that you keep the cash flow in your business.
All right. Well, look, I mean, it's inviting and refreshing to know that there are these options. And I think for a lot of people maybe struggling with ideas on where can I get the assistance, where can I get the help, definitely comes from you guys. But what's the difference between using something like Cashflow Capital versus your traditional funding options that are around? What makes this a little bit of a better option maybe?
When last did you phone a bank, and how was the experience?
Oh, that's fair enough. That is true. I mean, you are met with so many obstacles, right? And all the hoops you got to jump through just to kind of get something.
Banks have their place. I mean, we in no way want to replace the banks.
Yeah.
But I think as finance has evolved, banks are more transactional in nature. Alternative finance really goes outside of the sort of banking realm and looks at, you know, how can we do things differently? How can we do things quicker? How can we give someone more money for the collateral that they're giving us? You know, what makes a client happy at the end of the day? And yeah, for us, it's that relationship thing again.
Oh, absolutely love it. Man, thank you so much, Michael, for coming through, for educating us and for giving us another opportunity. And if people want to apply, you can head over to cashflowcapital.co.za and you can reach out to the team if you are sitting on like a golden idea right now and you know this is a winner. These are the guys you want to chat to. Because, just not weddings. Because they're definitely going to sort you out. So head over to their website if you are inspired by this conversation, you are needing a little bit of help and assistance. These are the guys, they've got you covered and they've got your back. And yeah, on that note, Michael, thank you so much for joining us this morning. I think you're going to get a lot of calls. So keep the phone on and Mzansi, go make those dreams happen. This is a man that can make it materialize. Just gone past the hour now. Let's catch up with Tapiso. I think it's time to check on those headlines.
And an opportunity to play in the economy, cashflowcapital.co.za. Thank you very much for that. Let's take a look at your news headlines. Starting off with our national news, Grey High School in Gqeberha will be honouring Springbok captain rugby's very own Siya Kolisi by renaming its main rugby field after him. Now, the renaming of the Phillip Field to the Siya Kolisi Field will take place on Saturday during the annual Old Greys Reunion Week. And Kolisi attended Grey High School until matric and played in the school's very first team in 2008 and 2009. The renaming will be followed by the rugby clash between the first teams of Grey High School as well as Queen's College out there in Gqeberha. The African Mining Indaba kicks off in Cape Town today. It's a gathering of mining industry players from all over the world as well as African government leaders. Among others, proceedings will formally start with the opening address by the Minister of Mineral Resources and Energy, Gwede Mantashe. This year's overarching theme is entitled Evolution of African Mining, Investing in the Energy Transition. And sustainability is one of the key buzzwords this year, with the industry seeking to add to economic prosperity while working to mitigate climate change. And in news beyond our own shores, 11 Egyptian soldiers were killed on Saturday, attempting a thwart of terrorist attacks on the Suez Canal. This was out there on that zone abutting the Sinai Peninsula, a hotbed of jihadist activity. It was the heaviest loss of life the army had suffered in years, and its long-running campaign in the around the Sinai against the militants loyal to the Islamic State group. Egypt's President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi said that the terrorist operations would not defeat the determination of the army to continue uprooting terrorism. The group of 7 leaders have committed to phasing out dependency on Russian energy as they announced fresh sanctions as part of an unprecedented package of coordinated sanctions to reinforce Russia's economic isolation because of Moscow's invasion in Ukraine. The G7, which unites the world's 7 wealthiest nations, that's Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the UK and the US, has escalated a campaign against Russian elites who support President Vladimir Putin. The group accuses them of bringing shame on Russia's historic sacrifice against Nazi Germany in the World War II. And now, one of KwaZulu-Natal's most important events every year is likely to be bigger than ever this year. Yes, the countdown to the much-anticipated ocean spectacle that's out along the KZN South Coast. It's called the Great Sardine Run. It has begun. And there, this year, you can see billions of fish annually making their way from the Cape Agulhas Bank past the province coast up north to Mozambique and finally the Indian Ocean. And experts say that a huge shoal has already been spotted in the Plettenberg Bay area. The tourism sector believes that this phenomenon will attract thousands of visitors to KZN, which is great, bringing much needed relief to an industry hard hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, the July unrest and most recently the very devastating floods that we've seen over there. Dr. Ryan Daly of the Oceanography Research Institute says that that in Durban, although the recent floods in KZN caused a surge in water as well as debris in the Indian Ocean, the impact on the ocean has largely passed and is therefore, it shouldn't influence the arrival of the sardines. So make your plans. Hotels along the coast are expecting an influx of visitors this year. It's a big, big spectacle, and that's where we leave it for now. Here is a look at your sports with Graham.
Thank you so much, Tobiso. Let's start with football news. And Man City, the big winners this weekend, they moved a step closer to retaining that Premier League title with an emphatic 5-0 demolition of Newcastle. That while Arsenal beat relegation-threatened Leeds 2-1 to boost their bid for a top 4 spot. That, of course, yesterday. But let's start with Pep Guardiola's side, who took control before half-time at the Etihad, thanks to goals from Raheem Sterling and Emerick Laporte. Then Rodri got City's third after the break before Phil Foden and Sterling then struck in stoppage time as they stormed back to the top of the table with just the smallest of cushions, but it really does put them in the pound seat for that title. Then the defending champions, I think, taking full advantage of the fact that Liverpool and Spurs ended 1 apiece on Saturday. Then Chelsea, they were held to a nervy 2-2 draw by Wolves, while Man United suffered a horror 4-0 loss against Brighton. Then bringing it back home for more football, the weekend's local Premiership action kicked off at the Lucas Moripa Stadium as SuperSport United and Swallows couldn't be separated, played out to a 2-2 draw on Friday night. Then on Saturday, Marumo Gallants hosted the Golden Arrows outfit with the game ending in a 0-0 stalemate there as well. The game between Amazulu and Sekhukhune United ended with that same scoreline. And Cape Town City, they were the big winners. They jumped into second spot on the log. That was after their 2-0 win over TS Galaxy. The Mother City-based club also extending their unbeaten streak now to 12 games in all competitions. Perfect timing. And in the final tie of the weekend, our champions, Mamelodi Sundowns, they travelled to Kaizer Chiefs yesterday morning with Aubrey Modiba getting on the score sheet for Sundowns, while Patushetso Nanga, he scored for the Glamour Boys. Then on to Formula One, breaking new ground on a new track, and it was Max Verstappen who resisted a late Charles Leclerc onslaught to win the inaugural Miami Grand Prix and cut his rival's championship lead to 19 points in the process. So Verstappen was in supreme form and comfortable after overtaking both Ferraris early on in the race before a late safety car caused by a very dramatic Lando Norris crash led to a thrilling finale as the field bunched up. Now Leclerc, the pole sitter who lost his lead on lap 7, suddenly found that pace again in the closing stages. As Formula One 2022's title protagonists battled it out again, but could not get ahead of Verstappen despite getting rarely close with that DRS, but couldn't do it in the end. Carlos Sainz, he came home in third with Sergio Perez finishing in fourth, and I think these are the names that are going to be in the mix for this entire season, so great to see that battle playing out. And then finally, we end on tennis, and this kid is on the charge. Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz raced to the Madrid Open title yesterday, brushing aside German Alexander Zverev 6-3 and 6-1 in just 62 minutes. So the victory in just over an hour took the 19-year-old's winning streak to 10 matches now and gave him a second consecutive title. So after victory last month in Barcelona, Alcaraz beat Rafa Nadal and world number 1 Novak Djokovic on his way to the Madrid final, and we'll see him now climb to number 6 in the world when the latest rankings come out a little bit later today. Alcaraz, who also turned only 19 this past week, captured a second ATP Masters 1000 level title. That was after winning in Miami in March. And the only younger player to reach the milestone was Nadal himself, who won in Monte Carlo and Rome when he was only 18 years old. So a real feather in his cap, but that's where we leave our Monday morning sport. Let's get one last take on the weather.
Thank you, Graham. And we're going to start off with a little bit of news. The City of Cape Town is embarking on flood prevention initiatives, which include unblocking stormwater drainage systems in preparation for the up-and-coming wet weather season. Some 48 million rand has been set aside for this. The city said it was working hard to ensure that the impact of rainy weather on residents and their areas is reduced this winter. The city said it has developed a program of area cleaning aimed specifically at flood prevention during the upcoming wet weather. On average, June is Cape Town's wettest month as part of the city's plans. Expanded public works program recruitment opportunities have been created to assist permanent staff to conduct this work. Short-term job opportunities are now available, and the Urban Waste Management Directorate is encouraging unemployed residents to register their names on their sub-council database so they can be eligible to benefit while helping the city get through winter. Now, from some weather news, we now move on to some sunrise views, and this is captured by you. Gavin Pollack shared us this beautiful image from Durban. It captures this vermilion sky, which displays a brilliant red pigment made from mercury sulfide. Now, Ronald Murray from Kempton Park also shared this stunning image with us at 6 o'clock, and this is with Jupiter and Venus perfectly aligned and shining brightly in the sky. Neil Naidu from Westbrook Beach kicked us off for your 7 a.m. update with this incredible shot as the golden sun rises over the ocean, and a regular Nancy Govender from Umkomaas captured this soft-hued shot of the day beginning, showing off a glow in the distance in her area. Thank you for those beautiful sunrise photos. If you have one that you would love to share with us, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page. Well, let's look at your temperatures one last time for this morning. If you're in Polokwane, a low of 10 and a high of 23 for today. Mbombela 15, reaching a high of 23. Pretoria 9, 22. Johannesburg 8, reaching a high of 20. It's sunny in Mahikeng. 6 is your low, 22 your high. Klerksdorp 5, reaching a high of 21. Kimberley 5 with a high of 20. Partly cloudy conditions in Bloemfontein. 2 is your low, 20 your high. Richards Bay 14, 24. Pietermaritzburg 9, reaching a high of 21. A sunny day for Durban. 15 is your low, 23 your high. Mthatha 8, reaching a high of 21. East London 12, 22. Cradock 5 with a high of 19 for today. Gqeberha 12, reaching a high of 23. George 9, 21. Cape Town partly cloudy, a low of 10, a high of 19. If you're in Worcester, 9 is your low, 25 your high. Sutherland 5, 19, and a sunny day in Uppington, a low of 7 and a high of 25 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where I leave your weather for this morning on your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Thank you so much, Zoe. Yes, the magic is going to continue right here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Alani and Dorette are standing by for some magical performances. And on top of that, we are still shredding for the wedding. She's going to be tasting some wedding cake and making a vital choice on the big day. So don't go anywhere. The magic continues.
We are back with the best of the best in the All-Star Season 10 of Tropica Island of Treasure. And we're going big!
Buy a Tropica, find your code under the cap, and stand a chance to win loads of instant prizes. Plus, if you find the treasure under the cap, you will win one of 10 big prizes. See pack for details. Tropica, nothing smoother.
Yes, Slee is back and I need her right now. It's crunch time. It is almost time for me to get married. And being a Monday, it means we are talking all things love and relationship. And as magical as weddings are, they are emotional, they are very anxious, high-stress situations for just about everyone. I don't care who you are. Now, from societal pressure to maybe a little bit of family drama, not to mention all the money talk, it is very easy to get overwhelmed, but there is help. And today we are going to unpack these wedding day jitters with clinical psychologist, one of our favorites, Slindile Mbata, who will be providing us with some tips on how you can maybe just ease the burden of planning your big day. So please join the conversation right now on Facebook by letting us know what planning your wedding was like. Were there some critical gateways, some tips that really helped you crack that code? We want to hear from you. Slee, it gets real really quickly, eh?
It gets real.
Oh, girl, I'm lucky in that my family has been amazing through this process. Lynn's has been incredible through this process, and she's really taken the wedding on as her job. But that's meant that she's carrying a lot of that pressure on her shoulders. So while I try and take care of day-to-day life, she's like, this is going to be the wedding that we deserve, which I love, but it's put a lot of pressure on her. So I'm hoping that we can, between us, figure out how to share that load and just make it an enjoyable process, because we want to. But why does this evoke, and I suppose it should because the stakes are high. I mean, it's marriage, it's for good, but why does the wedding itself? You should be more nervous about the marriage than the wedding, surely. Yet the wedding dominates. Why is that?
Yeah, I think it's the fact that it's the day and what it symbolizes. So, like you said, the stakes are very high. And so there's a lot of emotions that surround the specific day because it's symbolic of how your marriage is going to begin. And so usually I think it's that thing of this is setting the tone for what's going to happen. Although I think it's too much pressure to put on one day, you know?
Completely.
But I think it's the emotional significance of it, the financial implications around the day as well, and the fact that, you know, your families are coming together, for better or worse.
Yeah, it's a merging
Yes.
of cultures, and in my case, two different countries' cultures, which is part of why I've loved this journey. And like I said, I've been blessed to have a mother and father-in-law to be who have been just amazing and help us set this up in the UK as well, which is a big thing for me. And I say this with all due respect to the guys who are terrified going into that wedding day, but it does feel like, in my experience of being the wedding MC at just about every wedding that I've ever been to, that the brides feel it's a lot more than the grooms.
Yes.
Why is that level of expectation so much higher on the ladies' side?
Yeah, I do think that, you know, women tend to get socialized a lot more around weddings, around being married. I mean, if you think about it, there's all sorts of, even from the time that you're very young, movies that depict, you know, this special day and this woman who's going to, your Prince Charming is going to find you and you're going to have this amazing time. So I think women are socialized a lot more to sort of value weddings and place a lot of emphasis on the wedding day and marriage, and I think that happens a lot less for men. So that gets reinforced by, I think, popular culture.
Yeah.
You know, we see it depicted in movies, we see it depicted in series, about how brides can become bridezillas and they sort of transform into these other people. But yeah, usually there is just a lot more emphasis on wedding somehow belonging, it being a woman's thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's, and I dare not say this to Linz, but it's the things that don't work out according to plan that become the most memorable. It's the child who walks down the aisle unprompted on their own, but that becomes the moment. And I know that's going to be a lot of the tears are just going to be streaming with all those, especially having my kids being involved in that space. You want the best of everything. You want to spend 140 grand on flowers. It's unrealistic. There are so many unrealistic expectations in that space, especially when it comes to money. How do we balance our expectations in that sense and look for what's important to us to make that day special? Because the amount of money you spend doesn't necessarily mean or relate to how good the day is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think this is the important part where communication comes in with your partner.
Okay.
Be very clear about what your expectations are, because you know, you might not actually have an idea of what your partner expects out of this day. You might be quite surprised when you find out. So I think it's really helpful to be able to communicate around what those expectations are. And also there might be different cultural influences. So if you have an idea of what the expectations are culturally, you might expect how much you're going to spend, you know, and where you're going to have to adjust your budgets and so forth.
And you've got to have a plan. Not just a plan building up to it, but a plan on the day. You've got a limited amount of time to see all the people you care about in the world. You want to be able to get more than 2 minutes with each person and still have a good time because it's your wedding, baby. It's your opportunity to start the best part of your life. We are going through a practical how-to guide on how you can, from an emotional perspective, delve into this wedding day without hitting the jitters and manage those expectations. Slee is not going anywhere. Keep that conversation going on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you.
Oh, absolutely loving the conversation, and we'll continue. But we are back in the studio, going to do something special right now. We've got the electric string duo made up of our professional cellist, Dorette Roos, and professional violinist, Eleni de Jager. Now mixing their experience, playing in orchestras and with various music genres to deliver performances to remember just like this night. Now, here is a special one indeed. It's Girls Like You by Maroon 5, and it is something that's going to make you wanting more and more and more. Take it away. Ladies and gentlemen, Eleni and Dorette, I gotta say, just watching you perform, it's like you are dancing in this fusion and this flow state, but at the same time, you're just having so much fun. And clearly, that's passing on to everyone else, because I couldn't stop dancing behind the cameras. I absolutely loved that. And Mzansi, don't worry, because we've got one more incredible performance coming from these two maestros in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna carry on dancing. Da, 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 da.
Slee is the little angel on my shoulder, whispering sweet nothings into my ear to ensure that we stay okay ahead of the big day. It's a Monday, and we are continuing our love and relationship discussion, focusing on wedding day jitters. Oh, it's a crazy ride. It's a roller coaster, but it's going to end in one of the most magical moments of your life, hopefully. And that's what we want for you today, and for me, because I'm getting married. So today, we are chatting to our clinical psychologist and good friend, Slindile Mbata, to help hopefully ease some of the anxieties around that. I've got to ask this because as we've been chatting, these things come out like these little epiphanies where you realize it's such a big day. There is so much expectation around that, and we have fewer and fewer of those opportunities to kind of represent who we are, represent our family, possibly represent our culture in that space. Why do weddings become such a crazy time with so many expectations? It's not just you, it's your folks, it's your ancestors, it's your... there is so much tied into just this one day. Why does it become so hectic like that? Not just for you, but for the whole family.
Yeah, I mean, look, as you said, there are fewer and fewer opportunities where we can showcase what we're about, you know, in such a way. So weddings are one of those very, very significant times in our lives where the family can say, this is how we do things, and this is how we've done things according to our tradition in the family. And this is what we want to show as significant as part of who we are. So it's a chance to kind of affirm your identity as well. So it becomes about so much more than just bringing these two people together. It's like what your mom wanted, what your father, what everybody in the family wants to show who they are on the day.
Because it's going down in history.
Yeah.
You're marking this down. This is almost like you making, for me and my little family, this is us putting our marker down in the sand to say, okay, I'm staking my claim. This is where we're going to start. And I love that. And don't forget about it. This fact that it is for you. It's for you and your bride. Yeah, my kids are going to love it. My family's going to love it. My mates will be amazed. It'll be great, but it's for Linz and I, ultimately. Let's get practical. What do we need to do? And especially for the brides who are going to be feeling it on that wedding day or in that final build-up to it, what do they need to do to say to themselves, the little kit that they need to have handy, what do their best mates need to say to them in that build-up? How do we stay cool, calm, and collected in those crazy last few moments until the day?
Yeah. Well, I definitely think your plan, you know, from the start, hopefully you have a plan and you're not just winging it all the way to the wedding
there's a
day.
plan, girl. There is a plan.
Yeah. So kind of having your plan and implementing it. And I think having that community around you, that community of people you support, your people. So you want to speak to people. If you have people in your family who've done it before, speak to them, because you might think that your anxieties are so, you know, above and beyond, and actually find it's really normal to go through what you're going through. So I think having your trusted people there, delegating certain things. If you can see it's coming down to crunch time, don't try and do it all alone to have it be perfect the way you want it to be. Get your people
That's why you have amazing bridesmaids and groomsmen, and they do. They rally around you, but tell them what you need.
Absolutely. Divide and conquer.
Okay.
So get your people around you and, try and implement your plan as best as possible. But if it doesn't all go according to plan, wusa. It's going to be fun.
And it really will. Like I say, some of the best moments in weddings have been those unplanned for things, but we wanted to kind of fit within the general kind of lattice of cold feet. It's natural. Before anything, as you approach the precipice, before you take the plunge, cold feet are there. How do we deal with that? Because it is going to be there. It's a natural part of the process. How much weight do we give it? How far down that rabbit hole do we go? Do we talk to our partner about it? Or should we be talking to our partner about having cold feet a few weeks before the wedding? Is that the worst possible thing to do? How do we approach that? Very natural. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
How do we deal?
Yeah. So I think, as you said, it is a natural and normal part of the process. It can be very normal. I think that's what we call normal anxiety. When you have anxiety that's appropriate to the situation and the magnitude of it. I think don't ignore the cold feet if you do have some concerns, you know. Sometimes the concerns are a lot more serious than others, and I think things to not be ignored is very, very serious concerns maybe about your partner, especially if it has to do with safety, like abuse, you know, questions of things that you've seen that are really, really concerning to you. So if you need to, you know, speak to family members, friends, people you can trust. Otherwise, go and seek psychological help. Because then you're speaking to somebody who is objective, somebody who can actually help mediate if there's mediation needed. But also sometimes I think the cold feet is sort of, it's less hectic concerns. It's just like, I feel a little bit nervous, you know, and maybe I can speak to my partner about it. And they also feel a little bit nervous. So it's okay. It's just the magnitude of what we're doing.
And take nothing away from the generation before. You have gone through this. They know what it's like. Lean on the people around you. Get advice. Speak to your mates. Whatever those pressures are, your people, your tribe are there together. That's what makes these magical moments, is that you have the people you care the most about in the world there as you connect in the most relevant and cogent way with the person you love the most in the world. It's love, baby, and we are loving love this morning. We're going to continue our nuptial inspiration right now, in fact, and I'm getting a little bit hungry.
Oh, well, you know what? We are in the kitchen, and in light of our wedding theme this morning, which I've really enjoyed, we thought we would, we couldn't miss out on a wedding cake tasting. Now, we're going to invite Graham in because we also have one of the best experts for this one. We have the owner and creator-in-chief of beautifully handcrafted cakes and sugar flowers in Cape Town, Samantha Liang. She is here. And of course, G-Man is joining us in studio, and his beautiful fiance, Lindsay, she is on video call. So this is going to be a virtual tasting for her. Morning, Linz. How are you feeling today?
Tired, but I'm all right.
Oh, okay. Have you got your cup of coffee handy?
I do.
Okay. Oh, look at that cute cup. That is so sweet. G-Man, come on in and join us. This is Samantha, who does
how are
these
you?
incredible cake tastings.
First of all, can I just say, Linz, you're a machine, okay? I had my bachelor's a day ago, and I struggled to get up this morning. She had her bachelorette yesterday.
Last
so
night.
how you are, even up this morning, is amazing to me. That's my girl right there. Morning, baby, I love you. I was waiting for I love you back, but after the bachelor's, nah, you've got to wait at least a week. There's a cooling off period.
G-Man, put that on. Linz, have you guys chosen your wedding cake?
Yes.
Okay. So before we get to unpack those flavors, tell me, could you and Graham decide on it, or was it a bit of a back and forth?
It was kind of just all me, and I sort of told him what it was.
So he didn't have much say.
Yeah, and it's not, I'm not generally a sweet tooth person. Like, you want it to look good, and you want it to be able to be enjoyed by as many people as possible. And like I was saying earlier, Linz has been amazing at taking on certain roles within this wedding as her own job, and I've been happy to take her direction in certain spaces. Some stuff really matters. This, for me, is not the most important part of the wedding, but it's going to be such a feature in the wedding for your guests.
Okay.
You want it.
Okay. Well, G-Man, Samantha is here, and she's prepared these delicious cakes. She is phenomenal at the different flavors. Now, before we unpack them, I feel like you need to step closer to the counter. I'm going to hand you a fork.
Thank you.
And maybe I should give you the... no, you can lean forward. Can you lean forward and grab a piece of cake?
I don't know.
Little too wrong cake? Okay, I'll put it in your hand. So you're going to take a taste. And then, Samantha... When I mean, I don't know, with COVID at the moment, I mean, cake.
I don't even know if I've got cake.
Not yet. Should we put it on the fork for you?
Is that like the whole cake?
No, you got nothing. Okay, we didn't think this through. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. Good thought.
There we go.
Okay, what are you getting?
It's delicious. Absolutely beautiful. I don't know, but chocolatey notes in there.
Samantha, you want to put him out of his misery?
Yeah, no, he nailed it.
You nailed it.
Chocolate fudge.
Chocolate fudge.
Ooh, there
very,
we
very
go.
nice.
I've taken the liberty to put the next one on the fork for you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Here is the plate, sir.
Okay, but it's on there, so you can just put it to your mouth.
There we go.
Other side.
We did not think this through. Okay, what are you tasting?
Very light.
Mmm.
Like a vanilla cream type vibe.
Samantha, what is that?
Nailed it. It's
really?
Classic vanilla bean, yeah.
Classic vanilla bean. Now, try this one. Samantha, while Graham is tasting, I'm going to do the honors of putting it on the fork for him. For couples going through the tasting process and COVID obviously throwing a massive spanner in the works, Graham, you can go for it.
Ooh, missed.
Off the plate, I'm sorry. I'll take that again. Let's try that again. How have you been able to accommodate the tasting process given all the restrictions?
There we go. So I offer tasting boxes to my clients in the form of something like this. And I offer 6 of my most popular flavors, beautifully wrapped up. And then it accompanies a little menu card that then gets sent out to my clients. And then they can take it home and enjoy the tasting experience with their friends or their families. And then we have a consultation via Zoom or Skype, you know, or something like that. Because I am a one-woman show, I'm trying to minimize the risk to myself and my clients because COVID is still very much a thing. And we can't have a party pooper like COVID ruining our
100%.
Mm.
experience.
True. And I mean, Linz, you guys have rescheduled your wedding 3 times now, is that correct? Okay, G-Man, I'm telling you with a fork in my hand.
There we go.
3 times. Now, how was the process for you? Because you guys have a destination wedding. You're getting married in the UK. When it comes to the everyday tasting, because your caterer is that side, you're not flying with your cake from South Africa. How did you manage to do your tasting and pick the flavor you wanted?
Well, I had like my chief bridesmaid come with me. Luckily, when I was visiting family in the UK, she came with me, and me and her actually did a tasting of the whole menu. So like Graham didn't get to do that either. So it's kind of like me and Karen were getting married, you know.
And she's awesome, eh? She is awesome as well, so it's fine. You guys can do it.
Honestly, he's been amazing about it because I've just said to him, like, trust us, this is nice, this is beautiful, this is good, this is what you're having. Like, it just happened. It had to happen. And he's been really, really good about it. And I've got to say, Karen, if it wasn't for her, I don't know what I would have done, actually, while I was in the UK.
Oh my gosh. Okay, G-Man, last
carrot
one.
cake, I had the one before that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this kind of had a berry sweetness to it that took us on a whole different vibe. What was the last one I ate?
It was the lemon and blueberry cake.
Lemon and blueberry.
And here's your final one.
so
You can
fresh
feel the
and-
fork.
Thank you.
There you go. And Samantha, talk us through, he said carrot cake, but this is more than just a carrot cake, right?
Yes. So this is carrot cake, but it's got roasted peanuts in there as well. And then my secret ingredient to keep it nice and fresh and nice and moist is pineapple.
Ooh.
So we call it a tropical carrot cake.
Tropical carrot cake. And then, Graham, last one you tasted?
I don't know, my palate has just been around the world. I'm not sure.
Too much going on there.
Yeah,
Too
no,
much
there's
going on,
way
yeah.
too much going on. I've still
Put
got
him
the
out of his
spice from the tropical carrot cake coming through. Put me out of my misery. What was the last one I tasted?
It's salted caramel.
Salted caramel.
See.
Sam, out of these
Absolutely
ones,
awesome.
which is the most popular one that you find brides are ordering?
So our brides tend to stick to more traditional still. So the carrot cake is definitely number 1. But then you get the adventurous brides who want to offer their guests something different. So the lemon and blueberry is the next one. And then there's a lime and coconut as well that we actually developed from scratch for a bride. But coconut's not everyone's flavor, so I always opt them into it or out of it.
I think we're going to have to go the cupcakes and have a little bit of everything.
Oh, have a little bit of everything. Samantha, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you are going through this whole process, do enjoy it. I'm jealous I didn't get to taste all of these for breakfast.
I love you, my baby. Thank you for getting up so early and getting kids to school and looking so beautiful.
Looking fabulous.
I mean, look at that.
Bye, Linz. That was Graham's fiance. Of course, they are tying the knot this month. Absolutely special occasion. And now we've got the wedding tasting, the cake tasting out the way. We've got the decor sorted. Listen, this whole day has been a wedding of extravaganza.
1 in 2 healthy South African women suffer from iron deficiency. Speak to your healthcare professional about getting tested and treated for iron deficiency. Brought to you by FerryMed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show. It's Expresso, man. We're live on S3. So much love, so much inspiration. People are getting married.
Can you believe, eh? I mean, okay, there are very few days that can make you feel that special. And in my case, you know, if you're going to put me in a room with, like, not one, but 2 of my favorite sporting stars.
Yeah, and who are they?
Okay, so I'm talking right now about legends in the game. So Piwe Chabalala and Tendai, the Beast, and Twara Rira. Look at the tiger's eye. Okay, recently I got to spend a day with these 2 wonderful human beings who went head-to-head in the AEG test kitchen. No pressure.
Doing what?
They took on a cooking challenge. I was actually one of the judges, okay, and the food was good, okay? Now, one of Tada Madiba's favorite dishes by Madiba's personal chef, Aliswa, she was there, and the best part, the winner got to walk away with an AEG trophy and an 80,000 Rand donation to give to their charity of choice. So let's see who came out victorious. It's going to surprise you.
We love this time of the year. We're all doing a lot more entertaining cooking for our friends, connecting with family. So we thought, let's build on this beautiful tradition and invite some friends round to the AEG test kitchen for a little AEG cooking challenge. Sipiwe Chabalala and the Beast and Twararira are going to be doing battle in the AEG test kitchen this morning. We've seen what they can do in some of the most crunch moments on the biggest sporting fields in the world, but can they handle it in the kitchen? Today we find out. Gents, I don't know why I'm so nervous, but it's real now. Chef Aliswa has set this menu. No pressure, gents. She has only cooked for Madiba, okay?
I'm not cooking for Madiba. We are not cooking for Madiba. I used to have pressure. It's only in a pan, my son, not into the goal.
It's crunch time. Gentlemen, to your stations, if you will.
Oh, the best thing, my man.
And we've got our amazing AEG team in the background to kind of give you a little bit of encouragement when you need it. Buddy, how are you feeling about being in the kitchen today doing battle against this big guy?
I feel good, and I'm happy to be here because it's it's a great initiative behind it. So I'm here to have fun.
Dude, you don't look nervous at all for today. We're going to see the Beast come out in the kitchen today.
Let's see what happens. Maybe I'm going to surprise you today.
All right, gents, are you ready? The challenge starts in 3, 2, 1. Take it away. What are you expecting from these 2 sportsmen today in the kitchen? How excited are you?
I expect them to be good as they are good in the field.
And what are some of the pressure points where they could maybe lose their track?
Seasoning, presentation is number 1.
Based on what you've seen so far, the guys hard at work. I can see the smoke coming out of their ears. They are concentrating so hard. Who do you think's got this in the bag? Is anyone edging ahead?
Don't do that to me. Don't do that to my boys. You want them to look at the mother who is going to judge them like badly, but I think both of them, they have it.
Veggies have gone in. The fish is now being treated with love and care. Look at that. It's a little shiatsu massage.
Yes, I believe in them, and I know that they're going to do the right thing.
Shaba, we knew you'd be quick out the gates. Feeling a bit more confident now? How's it going?
Yeah, feeling good. So far, so good.
How do you think you're going to win this thing?
I think the presentation. So it's first time trying it out, but I'm hopeful that it will come out tops.
Any major mishaps so far? Is it going according to plan?
My fish, when I was trying to dress it up, I put the wrong thing on it. Some of the green stuff, chef, what is it?
Yeah.
The parsley, yeah. So I put it on too soon, so I did mess up, and hopefully I can recover from that. So some people tell me, brother, where are you now? Are you almost done?
Almost.
This stage.
Still rinsing the rice there.
Yeah, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, eh?
Yeah. Veggies are good. They look good. Just a bit of broccoli that, got a bit crispy. Tastes nice. Trust me, it tastes nice.
You've got 5 minutes to plate and plate it beautifully. Can you do it?
Yeah. Okay.
You don't have a choice. We've got the faith, boys. Do we have the faith in our studio audience? We do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop your engines! Well done! Boys, it's all now down to the final challenge. So I think this piece maybe was a tester. This piece looks absolutely beautifully cooked. So I'm going to give him the best shot. No, that is amazing. That is absolutely delicious. The fish, beautifully cooked.
Fish looks beautiful. Color, everything.
Okay. And? What do you think of the presentation?
The clue of putting the fish on top of the veggies.
So you might have missed a trick there. Beautiful tasting dish. Is the flavor going to be enough to win it out? Wow, okay.
The moment has come.
Is he going to disappoint Mama? Let's find out. So what do you make of the presentation so far?
Good.
Looks good, huh?
Good.
So you followed your tip, getting the veggies underneath. Should we go for it?
Stingy with the sauce.
Ooh, stingy with the sauce. Lovely texture on the veg. Fish beautifully cooked.
Fish tastes so nice. The texture. The vegetable, the texture. Let me go here.
Okay.
He went stingy with everything.
Stingy with the sauce,
with
man.
the cheese. I can't taste the cheese there.
So the moment of truth has arrived, boys. Are you feeling nervous? I can see it in your face. I don't know why I'm so nervous, but both of you should be unbelievably proud. Incredible cooking today, boys. Incredible. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of our AEG Cooking Challenge
is the beast. I'm sorry, my baby, that taste has been I'm sorry. This was the taste that I had to go for now. Otherwise, you did the best. You did the best. Thank you so much. I'm glad and I'm happy that you did this.
And you guided us all the way, so thank you so much. Oh, here it is.
Where are the funds that you get to donate now because of this incredible win? Where would they potentially be going?
Yeah, I think something that's very close to my heart right now is, what has happened in KZN with the floods, and the Sharks have started the Hands of Hope campaign. It actually started during the unrest, so those funds will be going towards that, to assist. So I'm going to flip this the script a little. Shaba, I think I had an unfair advantage because I've had, obviously AEG help me in the kitchen to be better. So I think you are deservedly the winner, and I want to give you this. You're a great man, and what you're doing as well with your foundation, with your charity.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. I think there's a lot that's going on at the moment, especially in KZN. Thank you to AEG for the invite. I really enjoyed myself.
To our amazing AEG team, thank you for being our pop-up studio audience. You were beautiful as well. But gentlemen, thank you for doing the most today. One last round of applause for our dual champions of the AEG. We asked for Shaba and the Beast to step out of their comfort zone, and today they did challenge the expected. It was so awesome to see what they could do in the kitchen, and I think they both shone, but most importantly, what they are willing to do to help others. And these funds that are raised and being donated through today's efforts are going to be life-changing, life-saving, in fact. This has been the most amazing day. I am now a super fan for life. To the AEG team, well done. And thank you.
I do love that. Well done, lads. Such
what
beautiful
an
men.
experience
The fact that
right?
I mean, 80,000 Rand is going to change so many people's lives that desperately need it at the moment, but they were just lovely. I understand why they are
selflessness
legends.
as well, I think, in the Beast coming through there and sharing that moment of victory. That was so special.
sure.
It was beautiful. Okay, so from that, we step into our very own kitchen because time for some kitchen inspiration.
And this is all the inspiration you need because winter is coming and it's time for a warm bowl of soup. But how about trying these 3 delicious ways to level up your ready-made soup? Now we are talking about tempura prawns and some jammy soy eggs. Chef Clem is here to help us elevate our soup that we buy from Woolies to make it a little bit more homey for us.
Exactly, and the soups are, think of it as the canvas. It's a delicious canvas.
It is a delicious canvas.
And you can do so much with it, so we're going to take 3 different soups today and create 3 different toppings.
Okay. So which one are we going to start off with?
Let's start off with our veggie soup. And in front of you, I got the lentil soup.
Lentil and vegetable masala soup.
Yes.
I haven't tried this one yet, and I love a good veggie soup.
So I'm going to ask you if you can just tear the corner and pop it into this bowl for us. And then the topping, we're going to play on some more veggies and make it a little, just very fragrant. So I've got some sweet potatoes that I'm busy frying. They're looking nice and crispy. That's going to be like our crouton. That you would add to like a salad or to your soup. So that's in there. Once it gets nice and brown and crispy, we're going to go in with some onion.
Ooh.
So it's going to be quite fragrant. It's going to be like substantial as well.
Yes. And I mean, these Woolies soups are so amazing. I've got the butternut lined up for this evening, so I'm hoping that's one you're going to be elevating. Not today.
But we can talk about
But I can add this to the butternut because it's yummy, fresh veggies.
You really,
so I
really
take
could.
it, what you're making there, I can take home for tonight.
You can also just do that. That's a good idea. So the soups themselves, like I said, you got the butternut. And what I love about the Woolies soups is that it's like the traditional recipes that have been passed down from like granny to your mom. And it's the same style recipe. We actually have these 540 kilogram pots that someone stands over and just like stirs all day. That man's got like shoulders, or lady, shoulders for days, just like stirring those pots. But that's the thing though, it's the same quality, same traditional recipes, just in the pack, which makes it so convenient, especially for during the week.
Oh, and it's going to be delicious. So you've got all of these yummy ingredients, you're adding some freshness to it. Is that parsley?
That's a little bit of coriander. So basically this is the topping that I've got done. So I'm going to top your soup. Then, in the meantime, in front of you, we're going to pair, this is that in a few minutes time, which I think is so quick and easy to make. I'm going to top these. In front of you, over there, we're going to work on our beef ramen broth.
Oh, and this is the Asian beef.
It is so delicious. I feel like, I don't want to say it, but you know that sensation when you're just feeling sick and you're like, you just run down, but then you get that delicious bowl of hot soup.
Yes.
It's kind of like, you shouldn't really want that feeling because you're sick, but that's so delicious.
This is so delicious.
It kind of feels like it's just healing you.
Ooh, that looks amazing. I love how you did it with the onions. So Chef Clem, what bowl do I put our ramen in?
Okay, you can pop our ramen broth into your white speckle bowl, and then the terrazzo bowl from Woolies, check them out, it's pretty amazing. Then I'm going to ask you in your big glass bowl, mix ingredients. You got soy sauce, garlic, chili, chili flakes, and yeah, just mix it all together. Get that in there.
You did say this bowl, hey?
That's fine. It's in there now. It's okay. So what we're going to do is boil some eggs, soft boil, and as soon as they're soft boiled, take the shell off and pop them in that soy sauce dressing. It takes on the flavor of the soy sauce, becomes so delicious.
Ooh.
That's looking good? I like it.
It's looking good. So what do we do with this?
So what I would normally do, like I said, I've got my eggs on the side, but they're not done just yet. So what you would do is marinate your eggs in there, pop the half eggs into your beautiful broth, and then just sprinkle on there to finish it off. Last one.
Amazing. Okay,
but now you used that bowl, so it's fine. It's okay. Let's talk about this. Pop a straw straight in. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. The last one is my favorite one. It's the prawn laksa soup. Okay. It is so delicious and so fragrant. So what I did was I got some of the Woolies tempura. Okay. The tempura prawns. Okay. But we're gonna make a little salsa with it.
Okay.
So I've got some fresh coconut, some coriander, some more chili. Chili, I just feel like just go with it. It's winter.
Go with it.
And then lime goes in. A little bit of chili oil.
Ooh.
This is the stuff. Okay, get that in there. And the mint just kind of adds a little bit of freshness to it. Get it in there, give it all a good mix. I'm going to bring that bowl over here so you can see how beautiful it all comes together.
Look at that.
Can you mix, can you mix,
I can mix for you, and you are going to get that bowl that we want. So we'll also, you know, just top it off with some tempura prawns. Our kitchen fairies brought us that.
Don't spill, don't spill.
So we would have emptied this into our bowl.
Yes.
Put more tempura.
So you can put some more of that garnish on, and someone just handed me some more tempura prawns. So I'm just going to add that to the actual soup.
I love the mint coming through.
Makes such a difference.
Makes a huge difference.
I mean, honestly, 3 soups done in like record time.
In 6 minutes.
veggie prawn laksa beef ramen broth. What?
Easy peasy. Chef Clem, you are amazing. We have all of these details available for you at woolworths.co.za. Oh, I'm so happy. I think I'm going to take this one. The veggie one's for me. Thank you.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. A few minutes left, but we are not leaving you on a low note. We are leaving you on a high note, because joining us are two exceptionally talented musicians. I'm talking about professionals, Dorit Ross and, of course, Eleni de Jager. They are in the house. Together, they make up the electric string duo. Here they are with Cheap Thrills Basia. Take it away, ladies. Cheers to the sweet taste of time off, celebrating the lust of summer, and to family memories made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.